There's about 3 paragraphs in the one you do.
All set? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Ware Board of Selectmen. That's a work session for May 8th, 2023. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, recognize Chief Moore.
All right, so first is just a quick presentation of the plaque for Sergeant McGuire, which we read last week. Sergeant McGuire. Yeah. It's a commendation bond from the Forest Police Service.
Nice job.
I try to set this up.
As long as my head's turned, I don't see me, right?
All right. Oh, you got it? Good. Otherwise, I'll get you back. All right, second, we are hiring a police officer, Matthew R. Ingalls. Recommendation for hire, he has completed all testing. He finished his last test today. Hired at a step 2 on the pay scale, $27.27 an hour. Advanced to step 3, $28.09 an hour after completion of the academy, which is the same thing we did with Officer Berner. Recommended hiring with 3 years experience toward his annual vacation accrual. So he'll start at 120 hours, which is the same as Berner due to his 10 years of military service.
Very good. Very good.
Questions?
What was the rate one more time?
Starting at $27.27 an hour, no educational incentive.
Okay.
$28.09 after completion of the academy. He'll go to the academy, what did I say, June 12th?
Yes.
As long as we can get a spot. If not, it'll be about 45 days after that.
Yeah, very good.
This packet goes in first thing in the morning.
Go. No time like the present, right? Okay, I'm going to move that we hire Matt Ingalls as a full-time police officer at the rate of $27.27 an hour. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. All right. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Matthew R. Ingalls,
I, Matthew R. Ingalls,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as a full-time police officer
as a full-time police officer
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeably to the rules and regulations,
agreeably to the rules and regulations,
the Constitution,
the Constitution,
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire,
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
so help me God.
So help me God.
One more voice.
His official start date will be May
I already
19th
signed it.
also.
Forget the-
And I do believe Brooke will be hanging his badge.
Maddie and Brooke.
Madeline and Brooke. I saw Brooke holding it.
Ready?
Thank you very much. 10 minutes or under.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Will you talk fast?
I set a time limit.
Yeah.
Chris,
Thank you. I'll leave it in your box.
we can give it to Beth, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Very good. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it. Why are they here? All right. You here for something? Other than the viewing public? Okay, I'm just asking, okay. I don't want you guys to sit here all night if you don't have to, so,
Oh, no.
okay.
Yeah.
like being involved.
Okay, very good. Just wanted to make sure, that's all. All right. I guess we'll do the manifest next and get that out of the way, so the finance director is happy with us. Move to order the treasurer assign payroll accounts payables checks dated May 11th, 2023, as including the following manifest. A payroll manifest of $65,401.01 for weekly payroll, and accounts payable manifest of $109,457.09 for a total of $174,858.10. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Okay. We'll go to, I know, I'm jumbling all around, look at me go. To the finalize the DPW director description. I didn't get one from you. Did you email it out?
Your email was messed up.
Oh, come on, don't be like that.
Did anybody else get it from me?
I didn't read through because my phone was broke since Saturday and I got to read everything at like 4:30, but if
When
it's
did-
there, what we
That's
went
fine,
over.
'cause that's not my fault.
Really?
When did you send it?
Probably Tuesday. But there was that issue.
Yeah.
I probably sent it to.
You forwarded me a bunch of,
Yeah,
some
but I
stuff.
only looked at I looked at what has gone to this address, which probably filtered out the ones I sent anyway.
Yeah, there was a couple things, it started duplicating later in the week,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so,
I
okay.
didn't get that on Tuesday. For sure.
What was Tuesday?
I did get it.
Okay.
What was Tuesday?
I can
Tuesday was
double check.
the
I'm
second,
guessing it Tuesday. I just maybe that's-
Wednesday. It's been doing pretty good. Because you forwarded me the monthly update.
Yep.
Which I got that. And you also forwarded me Beth's, the payroll earnings. But I didn't get that one.
Give me
Need a copy?
And it didn't get caught, I don't believe it got caught in the,
Proof point?
no, I don't,
Went somewhere else, because I
don't see an improved point.
didn't look in proof point. I'll just check.
Probably
proof point.
wouldn't hurt at this point. If you can just forward it to me, if I can get it. Exactly, that's the other side of it too, yeah.
I'll check proof point and see if it went there.
It didn't go in mine. Kevin, did you get all set up yet?
No, no, I'm one step away from scanning my authorization. but
Okay, all right, no, that's fine.
Day just got short.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Thursday.
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 And I sent it to that board member's.
I'll look on
That must,
Thursday.
Which was-
that must be still screwed up.
It was.
Yeah.
But
I checked.
but even analog, I have a copy.
Ooh,
So somehow or another,
yeah.
I figured
You
it
pull
out.
it together.
Okay, May 4th, I got mine.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, dumbass, it's right there.
I mean, it's possible
Got
I
it.
could have missed it. but-
Seconded.
I'm gonna read it anyway. It gives me headaches.
Well, yeah, I didn't get it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Do we have anything that we want to, this was after, well, it says we're on round 3. So, any comments, concerns, or do we want to finalize it?
No, I mean, I missed one of the rounds. On the other 2 rounds, there isn't a tremendous amount of change. There, we've always had the discussion about how much we're gonna put on DPW director / road agent, whatever, and trying not to create a situation where we overload that position. In water and sewer, we pulled away. I understand why it would be included and that we would need. My assumption at this point, I haven't gotten to talk to anybody, but you guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong, is we're not gonna change as we're doing it right now, but we're going to have the individual that is responsible, the contractor, report to the acting DPW director opposed to reporting to Naomi. Is that correct?
I think the thought was give him a time frame, year, whatever it is, to get his license, and then we can give him that responsibility and not have the contract.
I think that was step 1 though.
That was step 1.
Yeah, that's my understanding,
Yeah,
is
that was
step one.
step 1.
The biggest, again, my biggest concern, I mean, this is a very thorough DPW director job description, but checking all these boxes and getting someone to come through the door at what we can afford to pay may be something else we're gonna have to deal with down the road. And we had addressed past, based on what we were compensating the past DPW director, that the contracting was more or less financially made sense. Is that still correct? Yeah, okay, so,
Yeah, and when we chatted about this, we didn't put a time limit on it, per se.
yeah, my
you know.
biggest concern here is, again, is if an applicant comes through the door and doesn't meet that criteria, or interested in meeting that one criteria, I don't want to discount that applicant totally.
Well, I think that that's the job posting, and I think that's, you know, again, this would be, this is what we intend, I'll say, but it's not what we're going to require out of the box.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, it's a-
if
you know,
the
it's-
right candidate walks through the door.
Right. I mean, we're working on 10 months almost into this process, right, or 8 months into this process, so, yeah, it's just as long as the board fundamentally has an understanding that, you know, after adopting this, we're now not going down the road that the interim director and/or a future candidate that might come through the door once we're ready to post, which I assume is going to be soon, very soon, since we've been hanging the interim director, kind of tagging him along, is that wouldn't be a total limitation to consideration.
I don't think it was.
I feel like we spoke at length about that, and that's why we included so much under or ability to acquire.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. I didn't, again, I'm back here
I don't-
for
I
less
don't-
than
I
48
don't
hours,
think-
so
right.
I'm catching up.
I don't think it means they gotta come in the door with this. I think this is what we would like somebody to have, and after, you know, if they don't have all of these requirements, then.
Once they're
I mean, I
rooted,
put in for jobs, said you have to have a bachelor's degree, and I didn't have
Yeah.
them, they waived them if they like it, you know, you
Right.
have the,
Yeah,
but, I
okay.
mean, this
Well-
is, DPW covers those things.
well, like you said, once you kind of get rooted in, and
Right.
again, there's no timeline here, because this is the job description.
That's what we would put on somebody we hired if we want them to have. a
Right,
license.
and we were thinking, I think a year was kicked around
Yeah.
considerable amount of times, was that 1 year. And even though, and I think it was understood that even though they may have all these certifications, at this point in time, or even next month, or 2 months down the road, it wasn't the intention of the board to just, yep, here it is. There was gonna be a
Yeah.
transition time,
Okay.
or, you know, in that communication
Yeah.
you know, channel of, are you ready for that, or is this working, or, but again, we also talked about redundancy, just making sure that we had a fallback plan, because
Yeah.
right now, we kinda don't.
And again, just, we have two members that weren't here 8 months ago when this process started. 8 months ago, when the process started, we talked about a total restructuring of this position. Okay? We're back to ground zero where we were 8 months ago.
Well-
But with a lot of refinements. But we have not, we had discussions about standalone transfer stations, standalone water and sewer, and basically going back to a road agent type position. Now, I'm in agreement with this, but I'm just letting you know, 8 months ago,
Oh, yeah.
the board at that time was seriously considering whether or not what we were asking was too much.
Right, and, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent, here we are with a new
Again,
board, so.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we accept the DPW director job description as written in draft number 3.
I'll second it.
Oh, absolutely. Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
Well, because I wasn't done voicing my opinion, I'm gonna abstain.
I mean, that's your opportunity, like, it was a motion, and then we have that time where you can have a discussion on the motion.
I didn't give him the opportunity, that's my bad.
Okay. I just, like, we weren't really discussing anything.
Yeah, that's my opportunity. I'm sorry about that, Kevin.
Okay. But,
Do we want to reopen that for discussion?
If you'd like.
Yeah, we probably
I mean,
should.
it's not my intention to waste anyone's time here. It's just a clarification of a document that I received today. Okay? So if I took 5 minutes, so be it.
Again, I just wanna make sure we're talking about not going backwards. This is So this is what I made a motion on, and if you'd like to have a discussion, then
Yeah.
I'm all set.
All right, I already did that, I did that. I think we're gonna move to the, let's talk about the tax bill insert for the first half of the bills. I know when we were here, when we were talking about the transfer station, there was discussion about, inserting to hit all of the taxpayers and people in town, was to put the insert of the recycling,
Prices?
not prices, but, you know, that we are mandatory recycling and et cetera. What was the terminology? Was it the, it
So
wasn't,
I think I brought this up recently, or this go around.
Yeah.
Because it was brought up in the 2021 town meeting, to say, hey, we used to have this where it was, this is how much money the town saved because of recycling. The intent being, encourage people, put a carrot out there to recycle,
yeah, and
say-
it's,
and even potentially breakdown
it
of,
was more like a reminder letter than anything.
Yeah, we instituted a new sticker program a year ago, October.
Yeah.
And it was to emphasize that as of October of 2023, if you pull into the transfer station and there's not a sticker on your vehicle, you potentially could be told you can't dump, okay, because we need proof of residency.
Right.
And also to emphasize the fact that we do have mandatory recycling and why we have it, the benefits, as Salem suggests, in an effort to encourage people about the fact that this is actually revenue-based. And something that Ben introduced when he was DPW director is that we're retaining half of those revenues to help basically improve, make it more efficient, whatever, the current municipal trash recycling facility.
So,
Is
we-
that that's basically my understanding of what was gonna go into the flyer.
yeah, I think that was exactly what it was, but we were gonna put it in the tax bills.
Correct.
So that there was that, because sometimes on the back, we'll put other information on there.
No, not on the back, you put something, on the back it already tells you how to apply for an abatement.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've put stuff in there in the past,
Yeah, you can put one thing in there.
right,
It
so,
saves postage.
yeah, it's doubled up, so. I think that that's a good idea, with the rest, and that was, you know, Naomi, we put it on here.
Oh,
for that.
absolutely, because,
So
right,
where are we gonna get this draft? Tax bills are gonna be printed on 16th.
of this month.
Yes,
Okay.
we need cash.
Oh. Okay. All right, I don't,
Salem, I'm glad, I mean, I know we've been dumping a lot of stuff on you, at least before I left, we were. I mean,
There's 3 things that are available on the website.
oh, well, that makes it easier.
So you've got acceptable items, you've got transfer station information, and you've got a newsletter that was done a long time ago called The Recycler.
I think we do the acceptable items, probably. That'd be easy enough, wouldn't it?
I guess that's what my question was gonna be. Do you want a list of everything? You just wanna say, write a little note, says, you know, the town aware, is mandatory recycling, we
Yeah.
recycle to, you know,
Save time.
reduce the,
yeah, I mean, because it's the tax bill, I think it's an opportunity to say, you're
Yeah.
paying less in taxes because of.
by
X, Y,
recycling, you
Z.
save money on, you
Right.
know, your tipping fees and.
Well, maybe it'd be like a-
money. You could
Yeah.
clean that up, but you get money, revenue towards the facility from the recycling money.
Maybe it'd be a paragraph of that, and then shrink the font in that, maybe one size, and,
You have to put in your sticker program that has to.
The only reservation I have, and I don't mind at all putting a list in there, is sometimes that's changing, but we can put what we
Oh,
do
it-
today,
well,
and
it
that's
is changing. We know
fine.
it's changing, right?
well, the amounts are always changing, but,
But aren't we're talking about,
We talk, might
Plastic.
talk about plastic, you know, we don't know if it's
Yeah.
gonna be 1s and 2s or 1s or 7s. I don't mind doing what we do today anyway, and if we do more later, that's fine, I'm just,
well, I think
I guess we need to give Naomi something tonight, right?
Well, you have to finalize something by next Monday,
right,
Okay.
because
fine.
we're gonna start printing Tuesday.
right.
so the number that we would be, as far as revenue, would be 2022, correct?
Right,
Yeah, we can get that
The only
number.
thing you can provide.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, Beth sent us this out, which has it on it. This
Right,
had-
well, that's,
This had the revenue.
That's not gonna tell them much, not without
Well,
additional
that-
information.
Right, what, but you can figure it out from this, this is how much we,
well, I'm sure we can refine that a little bit too.
yeah, yeah.
I guess the question before us
I've
right
got it
now
on my-
is who has the time, bandwidth to draft up something that we can have a discussion over, clean up, and finalize next week's meeting? Who wants to take it on?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay?
Yeah, and
If
it-
we
I just
kind of
need to
decide
know-
tonight what we're looking, I wouldn't mind it, I could help you there,
Yeah.
like, you're way better
Yeah,
at drafting
well,
up
so
something. than me. I used to do the one for the town report, and I'd always just take the last year's numbers and, say, this is what the town, how many pounds recycled, and it saved this much on the tax bill, and sometimes but it's in the town report, so I don't know if we wanna, redundant that really, or if we wanna write up something new. 'cause
well, the other thing is too, is, I mean, I kinda agree with you on not just putting that on there, because we aren't currently taking the plastics, but maybe a potential, that'd be a point to say, we are looking to put that back in place, but one of the challenges we have is labor. Just-
The NRA used to give
Yeah.
out a neat little thing, says you save this many tires, you're doing this.
I mean, well, but to your point, Ricky, do we say like, hey, we're hiring,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is
like
it,
late, like just put it in there?
yeah, like you said, I mean, we can talk about the 2022 revenues that we got back, and that's fine. But, because I know a lot of residents have asked us about plastic, and when we're gonna start taking that again, and I think that'd be a good avenue to say, hey, it's not that we don't want to, we're closed door of this, it's, A, we don't have the labor to.
My
and-
argument always was we need just more hours of help up there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a,
We definitely
this is what we make, but we're lacking because of this.
Question, is the transfer station open to every taxpayer or just residents?
Just
Are you
residents,
sending them the tax bills?
just residents.
That's a
Are you
good
sending them the
point.
tax bills?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Uh-oh.
I think
You know,
anybody that pays taxes, don't you think?
Well, the only way they can get a
Well,
sticker
they should have to live here, because otherwise they're
as
bringing
a
stuff
resident,
from
as a
another
resident, and
town.
that was the whole
Well,
idea.
They could be, but you also
That's the whole
have,
idea of the sticker, though,
Right,
right?
you also
Well-
have your
Yeah.
campers, your seasonal
When you
campers.
register your car, you're supposed to get stickers.
I
And
guess,
That was
we-
the whole idea of the whole mandatory sticker thing.
When you registered your
When you
vehicle.
register your vehicle.
how is that going?
I think it's going okay.
Good. Yeah, that's a very good point. I guess we better add in there that it's for residents only, not
Yeah.
just taxpayers, cause
Yeah,
there's a lot of out-of-state taxpayer, or out-of-town taxpayers.
keep using the term resident. Yeah,
Yeah, because if
The
they're
bond-
camping at Cold Springs, they
Oh,
have,
there's a lot of landowners, like, especially like on the border, that
Yeah.
own houses in the other town, they have land here. I've run into that a lot.
yeah,
Need to go to the transfer station at your houses.
yeah,
Ah.
right.
So that's a good point.
Okay.
But this has to be, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, we're not sending them a legal document, we're sending them sort of a warm and fuzzy, hey.
Warm and
here's a
fuzzy
card.
note,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, that's the way I see it. And, I mean, it'd be nice to have whoever does the police graphics pitch in, because they could do a little Earth Day type of, something kind of fun, graphic on it or something.
I definitely add for residents only. I think.
Yeah, I
Because
definitely think
if
residents.
Somebody out of town right over the border that we've had a dispute with gets it and
Right.
says, well, now they're accepting.
Yeah, okay.
Good point, Beth.
So, Beth, would you have a copy of like last year's, so I see how much like space to fill and whatnot,
Last year's what?
tax bill that went out? Or, like for the flyer that we're talking about?
It's an 8.5 by 11 piece of
Okay.
paper.
Just a piece of
So,
paper.
and it's just a whole blank,
You can do two sides or whatever.
Yeah, and we can put the
It has
letterhead
to be
on top
just
of
this
it.
big.
Yeah,
okay, but,
Be a separate piece of paper. Yep.
yeah, just a
Up to
piece
two
of paper to add to the tax bill.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's already stuff on the back of the tax bill, so we can't
So we
use that
could,
side.
I guess we could fit the
right.
the
Accepted
list of
items.
things.
on the back and do a little, how do you do on the front type thing.
Yeah.
And obviously the town letterhead on the top of it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and selfies.
I wouldn't go that far. A group selfie, yeah. So,
If you, I mean, these are what was on the, if you want them, though,
Sure.
I grabbed them off the website.
It's only gonna help.
It's on the website.
Yeah, it's only gonna help. Thank
You
you.
might be able to combine them together.
Chair, can I have the?
Yeah, I didn't want to,
No, it's fine, thank you. Guys have anything else?
just sit for Naomi.
Yep. So, all right, very good. Check that off. We'll go up to the minute taker position and advertisement with the finance administrator.
So I put together, 5 small packages of what I could gather from area towns. Beth's gonna have the financial part of it, but you can take a paperclip full and pass it around. Want to share?
Crowd here.
Okay, I'll pick up. So just the package that you're looking at, is the first 2 pieces is something that we already have, it's ours. It was done in 2018, it was a part-time ad and a job description and qualification. It was actually called a task description and qualification. And then as you see, there was emails today that I included, that New Boston, there's no job description, but it's $20 an hour, and she does BOS and PB, planning board. Northumberland guarantees $75 a minute if she's done it from a recording, and $100 if they attend.
A meeting, set of minutes.
Yeah.
You said $75 a minute.
Sorry.
I'll sign up for that.
Atkinson, there's a job description in there, they get $20 an hour, she does Board of Selectmen and ZBA. Hampton Falls is full-time, just minute taker for land use. She also does, duties in the planning board and zoning board. Guilford, is part-time, planning board, land use, and there's a job description attached, and they pay $25 an hour. Bradford pays $20 an hour, and she does BOS, PB, ZBA, and budget. We don't need the budget, they have their own.
Right.
So that's what you have enclosed in there, and that's from what I got back from the listserv when I asked the question.
Well, my opinion is we should be going up to 20. I don't know that we're gonna get anybody for 15.
No, I think that's a ship that
So-
sailed, but
Yeah,
The question I would have is, what is, so we're paying someone $20 an hour to do minutes, okay?
We have a different proposal, but go ahead.
Okay, well, just assume, an assumption. How, I mean, is that time, how do we, I mean, if someone's more efficient, they may do it in 2 hours, somebody else might do it in 4 hours.
Mhm.
So how do we,
So the
that's the
idea
idea, I like
was-
the fixed
So I
price
make a
idea.
few notes, which is what I did for the last one. And then I handed her off my stuff, and she basically watched YouTube and followed, because sometimes you guys they have no idea what you're talking about. You know, and this person, my expectation would be not here. 'Cause,
Correct, yeah, this
you
is
know, she'd have
definitely,
to sit
this is
here, and then she'd
definitely,
have to go home and do it.
yeah.
But with today's live streaming and YouTube, I can scan her all these things that we've been doing, plus my notes, so she could stay in order, and send it over to her to transcribe.
So your intention is to still attend the meeting,
Yeah, that's on the job description.
right? But there's a role, I guess, attending the meeting, but being responsible for taking notes and,
Well, I don't have to do as much as I've been doing, but just to keep her in line, because like I said, you guys hop around like it's a squirrel sometimes, and it's hard for
a good
her
acronym.
sitting at
Bingo.
home. I mean, we
so,
tried speed
yeah,
rate.
I get it.
no,
I
you're
get it.
you're right. It's just the acronym. That's all.
$500
I remember.
because it was 55 pages, because we interrupt each other all the time.
Right.
Right, I get it, I get it. I mean, you're giving them the foundation to
I'm just
start,
gonna hand them off just like I did
An
before
outline.
when she was here.
an outline,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I used to get it back, and then if she didn't know what was being talked about, she asked questions. Or I read it and I'm like, that wasn't that person that was standing there. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a minute for someone to get oriented to do it anyway. But I'll let Beth, we talked about a per meeting price regardless of how long the meeting is. Last week, what did we have, 3 hours and something?
Yeah.
So she's gonna sit there and transcribe that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
It's,
tough.
you know, and then sometimes, and my expectation is planning, zoning, conservation, Board of Fire Wards, and Board of Selectmen. That's 108 meetings a year.
We'll be getting rid of Board of Fire Wards eventually, Chris.
That's
Right,
next
they'll
year.
go away.
They'll
That's
drop
go
off
away.
in March,
They'll go away.
How
right?
many is that?
They do 12 a year, one a month. So planning board is 4 a month, ZBA is 1, conservation is 1, planning board's 2, board of fire wards is 1. That's why I got the 108.
But right now, planning board does their own minutes, right?
That's me.
Oh, I thought Stockhouse, Bill Stockhouse did the minutes for the planning
No.
board. Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Oh. And, what's his name's doing conservation though, right?
He done the last 2,
Yeah,
but those before that were mine. Just one person.
yeah, I know.
All right.
So Beth has put together something that, she's worked on based on
I
you
would
guys.
love to see it.
If you guys
Would you really?
remember, we
It's
did
more
this in
paper.
March.
It's more paper.
We talked about it in March. There was a half a memo that you read, and then the other half we didn't do.
Yeah, it sounded like there was a little confusion on how we got to where we are and where we can find the funds to.
Ooh, look at all that.
Yeah.
Who da?
Thanks, Matt.
So previously, the organization for the town administrator, she oversees the police chief, who has a full-time admin assistant, oversaw the fire chief, which has a part-time admin assistant. She oversaw the DPW director, and they had a part-time assistant, which Naomi also shared that individual, so it was a full-time position. Half part-time duties went to the director, part-time duties went to the town administrator. There was always a full-time tax collector, full-time finance administrator, part-time building inspector, full-time zoning, and a full-time assessing clerk. So that is our administration staff. And then it moved
Previously.
on. Yep, previously. So then it moved on, nothing changed in police and fire. So then the director of DPW went down to his new garage. He had to get an assistant that went with him, because the assistant was here in this building. So he hired an assistant, the full-time admin assistant stayed here in this building. Then if you move on to the next one's where we are now. So this is how we are budgeted now. Everything stayed the same, still have the full-time admin assistant here. What we did was, we made the full-time tax collector to part-time, to offset the full-time employee in the building department. So there was a full-time zoning administrator, and there was a full-time tax collector, but we needed a part-time zoning and a full-time admin assistant overall. So that's how we budgeted that. We reduced one in order to get it somewhere else in the building. So what we're proposing is we still have that full-time admin assistant and the part-time tax collector's position. We hired someone last December with the intention of hiring the part-time tax collector at a later time. The person that we hired in December took tax collecting right off the bat. It was like, she was hired in December, so it's like, well, let's start her there, see how she does. She ran with it. So we'd like to keep her as a part-time tax collector and still have her do part-time admin work, which still leaves the part-time position available. And that's where the transcriber comes in. So
You
and then-
shuffled the deck well.
Oh, it was years of seeing where we needed help and how to shift things around. The next page is just transcriber history. You can see it goes from an outside vendor to Naomi, from an outside vendor to Naomi, to the full-time admin that we had for a year and a half, then back to town administrator. So you can see all the boards were just flopping around from outside to town administrator. So, like I said, the proposal, just reiterating, we hired the full-time with the intent to hire the part-time tax collector at a later time. So we're proposing, like Naomi said, to hire an outside individual to transcribe the meetings for Selectmen, Planning Board, Zoning Board, Fire Wards, 2023 only, and then the Conservation Commission. So the next page is where we get the funds. So if we do the reassignment, we save $21,424 from that part-time tax collect position. In our budget as a whole, we already have $721 in transcriber wages from individual departments, plus their payroll taxes, so we're gonna be saving $23,839. And we'd like to hire a transcriber. So if we hire a transcriber like Naomi was talking about, 108 meetings a year, $100 meeting, it's gonna cost us $11,626. And if you look previously, we have $23,839. And with that, we would like to suggest the difference, the surplus between hiring this transcriber and the surplus that we have, we'd like to give the highway department full-timers an additional 50 cents per hour to try to get them up. So those are the two things we'd like to propose this evening.
Would that 50 cents be just current DPW employees or
It'd be all 12.
future? But I mean, like, because we're doing new hires, are you anticipating the floor would go up then?
Yes. So the new hires would come in at 50 cents higher, follow the
Yes,
pay
yeah, when
scale.
you say all, you mean all the, all
Yeah.
12 available?
Yes,
Okay, got it.
the full roster, full-time.
Sorry, thank you.
Am I
Alright.
I'm to assume that this at least has been discussed with the interim director?
No?
No, okay.
You might have heard something, well, we were talking about the part-time transfer station, those guys got something.
They had something the first,
I
the
remember.
library and them
Yeah,
got,
yeah.
first,
Yeah, the surplus over
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Warrant
that
article.
adjustment.
But we didn't have enough surplus from that warrant article to give these guys, 12 of them,
Right,
something.
when we're fully staffed.
Before we get to the suggested
there's two things.
proposal, I'd like to focus back on the transcriber stuff. What does the board think of the transcriber side of it?
Well,
I
I think
mean,
it's
like just the fact of hiring one at all, or?
Well, just, I mean,
Sorry, you mean just excluding the DPW part of it?
at this point in
Okay,
time,
okay.
yeah, that's another discussion, I
Yeah.
think, but, it's pretty clear the burden that has been put on the town administrator with, the transcriber history page. And quite honestly, I was not aware that she was doing all of them. And I think that, to be blunt, I think that's taken away from her job
It has, of course.
tremendously. So I think this is, honestly, I think it's a no-brainer that we do the reassignment of funds to, you know, if we have a willing candidate potentially out there, I think it's a no-brainer myself. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks.
Well, I definitely think so. I mean, and like, hopefully we get somebody, you know, that this is decent pay, so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, your average meeting isn't 3 hours like the other night, so.
But you can have a lot of detail in it too, you know.
I know it's been tough. I know we've been back and forth, having one, not having one, since I've worked here, so. Having
not-
good pay
yeah,
hopefully
I was
might keep
gonna say,
somebody,
It's tough, not all towns keep them either.
you know.
No, it's, yeah, it's,
I
so,
mean, hopefully now we can do it at home maybe, because they've always had to sit here, I know, and. people
Well,
everybody like
technology
doing that,
today,
yeah.
you know, and then what we had prior to that. Time to run.
So, yeah, hope,
So what we
I'm
had-
I'm all about it for sure. I mean,
Because what we had prior to that is
Yeah, no more
the
toast, not
administrative
fire.
assistant, who was a paralegal, did an awesome job. She started right on Tuesday morning and got the YouTube, and she started right at it. But that was in the office, from the YouTube and from my notes. This person wouldn't be in the office.
that was
It would
nice,
be-
because she could reach around the corner and say, hey, Naomi, if you had a question.
Yeah.
right.
But we weren't live streaming either, so there was actually a day or so delay. And then, the cable committee actually taught her to take the thumb drive and go in and grab it, and she could put it on her computer and start. So we've come a long way with live streaming.
Yeah. But
I guess what I'd like I mean, we do have to advertise.
You proofread, so just so I understand, you will proofread her after, or?
Yeah, that's not to say I don't miss anything. I mean, I'm human, so.
Right.
No, but I'm,
Yeah.
right.
We will still do final.
Yeah, you guys will.
yeah,
We'll
we
still
still have to
approve.
final, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I just was asking if that took that all off your plate or not, I guess was all my only question.
well, because this
Huge-
person.
a huge
needs-
chunk.
Whoever we hire is gonna take a learning to understand
Time,
where we are.
yeah, there's gonna be a time period,
Because if
right.
you get someone that comes in not from the municipal part, or the different languages and things like that, it's gonna take someone time.
Yeah,
And what I shared with you was the last time we put it out was in 2018 is the
Right.
first piece. And my question to you guys last week was, we can put it out, but the money was what we wanted to talk about.
Right.
Well, I think by the meeting's obviously the way to go.
But now, the understanding would be if there's no meeting, she would still get the $100 because of the fact that she's available, would be available.
Right.
That would be the understanding, because it's, at the end of the day, she may not, because zoning and planning is based on applications. So if you have no applications,
No meeting.
you know,
Does that include, like, we know we're not meeting 2 weeks from today, 3
on the
weeks?
29th.
Right.
29th.
So
But
would
that's
you
a
count
fifth
that?
Monday.
Okay.
I budgeted on 4.
All right, so that wouldn't be counted then. That's what I'm understanding, that would not be counted.
No, but I'm just saying that we wouldn't have met anyway. on a
Right.
holiday.
Well, I think what Salem's
Any
alluding to is,
holiday.
is would she get the $100
It's
for
an-
that,
it's
that
a-
meeting
It's a
night?
planned not having a meeting.
Right, if
Right.
it's a planned holiday, I would say no.
No.
I would rather just take the 10,008 and do a monthly stipend. Just to make it easy, and then
Yes,
he or
yeah.
she does all the meetings.
Yeah, a salary.
1 month could be 14 hours,
That could
1
be-
month can
that,
be
that would really clean it up. That would make it
There's
work.
more or less a salary,
Exactly.
stipend.
or a salaried employee. So there's a salary.
$100 a month, no matter how many meetings or how many hours.
Yeah, it's,
That's why I invited
Easier
you.
to do it that way.
I think it is.
So much easier.
That
I
sounds-
wouldn't
A lot
want to
easier.
even,
And there won't be, you know, that person saying, well, I got paid
The
$100 with no
5,
meeting.
yeah, the 5 weeks,
But
whatever.
then if
I-
there's
I
a,
work too.
some
Or if
reason,
we have to
there's
meet twice a week.
special one for
we
some
were,
reason.
Right.
Which
Which doesn't happen
hopefully
very
not.
often.
So last year, the zoning board, I don't think they met, they might have met 7 times out of the year, because there was no applications.
Right.
You know, I do like that idea, I didn't think about it, I was just basing the total on,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the stipend idea. I think
What's
that's,
that breakdown to?
$900 a month.
9 even?
The other thing too is the planning board, sometimes they meet twice a month, but they also go out on site walks, so,
I never attended a site walk.
no.
No.
But somebody probably took some notes.
So that's when your secretary took the notes,
Right.
or somebody for
Yeah.
that group did.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so it's an even $900.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you sort of-
So then, do you anticipate, Naomi, that you'd be able to, you would still come to this meeting, but then no longer go to those 4 meetings?
No, she would still go to, no,
That's
that's,
my job description.
that's part of her job description, to go to all the meetings.
It's in my job description and my
Just
contract.
when, because we're talking, generally, it's reducing your workload, and then Kevin had asked the question about this meeting, so I'm just trying to.
Well, I think it would still reduce the workload because it's,
Yeah.
she draws
The
some
other meeting, I would just watch the,
YouTube.
because there's only, I mean, we've struggled with this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to get everybody on board, but it's not there yet.
But I still think there's still time that is taken to obviously transcribe, type them, go back and forth.
No, I don't disagree with that.
That's gonna
Yeah.
go away.
Yeah. I was thinking that.
Like I say, it's starting to get a little close in there, probably because,
just a little
oh, the
bit.
heat's on.
Heat's on?
Yeah,
Heat's on.
That radiator's getting warm
Where's
down
that
there.
thing? Oh, way over there.
Oh, no, it's in there.
Oh, that heat.
Yeah, she's got the bottom basement on.
So what about,
It may just shut off, but it's warmer than
It'll probably
it should be.
warm up more if you're gonna add cold air.
it's gonna run.
where's the thermostat?
It's over there,
In there.
Yeah, we're fine, because it'll stay hot in there.
whatever.
It runs on this zone, both
Yeah.
rooms.
Yeah, but as long as the cold air doesn't get in that room, they won't.
Yeah, the thermostat's gonna kick it in.
All right,
I got 2 more. So, I think, maybe with small exception, we're caught up on the Board of Selectmen minutes, but the other
Right.
boards are not caught up. So would you ask this new person to do that? And if so, what would we pay them to do
I
that?
think we'd work in conjunction,
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, I would get her to help me.
right, right, I think it'd be,
We just gotta get them out.
I don't think it'd be any extra, my personal
Well, because we're
feeling.
saying 100, well, no, if it's a stipend.
It's a
then It
stipend.
may just be, okay, you're gonna have a rough couple of
Because you don't-
You'd label it,
months.
you'd label it approximately, right, if you put it out.
I would say $900 a month.
Period.
Or
Yeah, you don't have to put
approximately this
minutes.
many
No.
meetings, or not-
They
don't
ask
leave that
questions
right
when they
out.
come in and interview, say, typically this is what we have in a month.
Right, and you can put all the different, the different boards that, obviously, the scope of work,
Right.
per se, but, you know, you're gonna be working for 5 boards.
How many minutes do you think there are to be caught up?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, like I said, it's gonna be a rough couple
Well,
of
and
months.
that's why I was worried about it. If we
There's
cut
some
over,
weeks
then
it's
suddenly it's
Monday,
$100 a
Tuesday,
meeting.
Wednesday,
It's-
Thursday.
Yeah.
I have Friday
It could be
off.
thousands and thousands of dollars,
So,
if
I
we
mean,
were doing per meeting.
the logistics part of it, I believe, is Naomi and Beth's job to, whoever this person comes on board, to settle in on the $900 a month we'd be approving,
Mhm.
and then to get this thing advertised and let them handle how we get caught up and how
You
we,
guys have to hire, so.
yeah, at the end, but we don't necessarily, the hirees meet with you prior to showing up here.
Yeah.
So the job description would be outlined by you.
Well, we have a job description here.
Well, there's a
That's what I mean,
task.
Yeah,
that,
we
that
should-
job description.
We should probably craft it,
a little
tweak it.
bit,
Yeah, tweak it a little bit.
Update it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna take much, but we'll tweak it.
I think the big question is here, is it a salaried employee or an hourly employee, and how much are we gonna spend?
I definitely think that
I don't-
$900 a month was a good.
Stipend.
But not a
Stipend.
salary, a stipend.
It's a stipend.
Stipend.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Right.
whatever.
Well, because
Per
that comes
month.
into raises and whatnot, then,
Yeah, per month, the person's gonna be compensated a certain amount of money.
yeah.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. And when I used to get a fire check every month, that was considered part-time. So,
Stipend's different though, right? Yeah.
But
Stipend's
that's what you
different.
but you're
Propose,
not,
right?
but she's not gonna be an independent contractor.
No.
She'll still be a town employee.
But for instance, because we talked about this with the 5% raises, and there are
Right.
people that are stipend, like we didn't get raises because
We
we're
never get
stipend, right, but it's
Well,
an
we're elected,
example.
we're
I'm
also
not saying
elected
we should.
officials, we're also elected officials.
Okay, well then,
No,
for
but I know what you're
instance,
saying, though, so they're not gonna be,
it's a different,
if
it's
there's
a
an
different
increase given their
classification.
pay, that would come back to us later. It wouldn't be every time there's a raise given at town vote. So stipend would cover that, correct?
I think the same thing with the Park and Rec, or the
Exactly.
stipend for the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
you're gonna say, I
not
think the
an
question
hourly rate.
is would this individual be in the pool?
No, I would say no, no, let's.
I would say no as well.
Right.
Right.
But stipend is the correct terminology to
Correct.
cover that. Yeah, okay.
Yes, if it's
Yeah.
an hourly rate,
Cause
then
do
they
you get a
get an
stipend for
increase.
being lieutenant or whatever?
Yeah, officer stipend, yeah.
Right, so you get an officer stipend and that's not subject to the 5%.
So it's gonna be
No.
called a stipend for $900.
No, because there's a line item for it, and there's a bucket, and that's what we spread, so.
So there's no job description, so what we had put together in 2018 was a task
Mhm.
description and qualifications on the back, on your second sheet.
I don't think that's horrible to leave, that's the way it is. But I think we need to put a couple more things in there.
Where do you wanna put them in? What do
Well,
you
I think it
have?
would be transmitting completed draft minutes electronically. Because obviously they're not gonna be finalized.
Yeah. I would, and the required by New Hampshire law, I'd just make a broad bullet point, follow 91A3.
Yeah, whatever the actual chapter is.
What was your part about the draft?
Transmitting completed draft minutes electronically.
So maintaining confidentiality, I thought that person wouldn't do any non-public.
I don't think that they should.
So I don't think it would be, what we talk about is what everybody's watching us now.
Right.
So it's all public.
Because she's gonna have to, or he,
Mhm.
is gonna transcribe it from,
So we can probably
You
take that
too.
off. I would think.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
If
it's gonna be public, it's all
It's gonna be a
public.
public session.
Right.
So,
She's not gonna be recording anything in non-public. She'll have to
Right.
leave the room if we have it,
she's not coming though.
or whatever.
This person's not gonna be
Yeah.
here.
Right.
right,
Okay.
it's gonna be
We're
transmitted.
assuming it's a woman.
Unless,
Sorry. He or
unless,
she is not coming.
unless there is a known, and maybe we should put that too, if there's a known, if the system's down, and it's known to be down, then they would have to be here. But it'd be a one-off.
It wouldn't be
Right.
very often.
Well,
that's
what
what-
happened, I haven't checked, and the last time when the system was down, is it was live on cable, and they took the recording from cable and put it
back on.
on YouTube, but it's not under live stream, it's under videos.
Yeah, but anything could happen up there. I just wanna make sure that we have that to say, hey,
Do that radius like we did the others,
what's that?
like we did a radius for the other job descriptions.
I don't
I don't know.
I don't think it needs to be a radius, it's just, you know, if for some reason Doug says the whole system's down and I don't know how long it's gonna be to get it back up,
I think that might be hard, and I'm not against it, but we need
How do
to
you
figure
word
out,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
because, I mean, if that happens once a year and that person has little kids or whatever, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, this afternoon, we get told that,
well, and
I
I
don't
guess,
think we can make her
Needs
come
like-
here.
Like 24-hour notice.
I think in that
Yeah.
type of thing that they just would take Naomi's notes and would have to, I think it's gonna be hard to make somebody come here twice a year with short notice.
well, I don't think
We can
it'd
try.
be, it may not even be
Think it-
twice a year, it may be never, it's just, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I think you
Well,
gotta give her 24 hours notice.
Be
or
available,
him, whoever,
be available in case of an emergency, something like that, that's just in there,
Yeah.
just
a
so
broad
that when you
statement.
make the phone call, it can be
Yeah,
part
in
of
the
the
event of
discussion.
electronic recording failure,
Yeah, how often does
be
it happen?
available to
But
attend
we
the
could have
meeting.
emergency such a session, you know, in
I
a
think
crisis, power's out, who knows, right?
I think the fewer times it happens, the harder gonna find somebody. 'cause
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not scheduled.
right, and, yeah, and I didn't say it was a requirement, it was more of a request than anything.
So be available in case of emergency with 24-hour notice?
Sure,
Yeah,
And I put
make
that
it part
under,
of, make it part of the discussion anyway.
or even, well, would it be emergency or would it be in the event of electronic recording failure?
That's a
it's an emergency.
refining,
I'm just thinking, I mean, what is emergency?
And
Just-
what you think was what I think is two different.
Right, I don't know.
one side of the town hall blew off.
I was just gonna say,
Well, I think we
get a
got,
fire.
we probably got bigger things to fry if that happens.
Yeah, we're in about
Minutes might be
minutes,
low on the totem pole.
yeah, really.
Yeah,
History, we gotta record history.
so,
Within 5 business days.
move off foundation. A true record.
We wouldn't have any minutes if the thing blew off the foundation.
No. All right. Probably ought to update, such as Microsoft Office and email applications to
Yeah, exactly.
365, or do we want to leave it as
I
just,
think we made a Microsoft Office before.
okay. Well, I'm just thinking here we
I
are,
mean, she
you know,
should be able to have whatever
5
she
years ago.
needs. I mean, if it, 365's gonna, I think Microsoft Office is going away, so she'll have to go at some point to whoever's doing it, to
Well,
365.
obviously she's gonna need to send them to Naomi in a doc form or whatever, so,
Yeah, I don't, the Google Docs, sometimes, I don't, that's what the library's been sending me.
so. I don't know, I guess whatever the best, again, if we don't want to change it, we don't have to.
I don't have a strong opinion.
Okay, I guess we just leave it. If everybody's okay with that. I don't think that this description's that far off, honestly. I think it's pretty close. But I think we probably should put down in here, that the task description is going to be, you know, conservation, board of selectmen, board of
Planning.
fire wards, planning. I think in the task description qualifications, I think these ought to be outlined in there.
Yeah.
And I think it starts to sound scary, so then you could say anticipated 108 meetings per year. Yeah, like,
Yeah, anticipated to be approximately,
Yeah.
maybe you put hundred
not
and ten
set
for a
in.
round number.
Well, the Board of Fire was gonna drop off.
Right, so it's gonna be less next year, and we can talk about that in the interview, I think.
But right now with work sessions, she'd be recording work sessions, right?
Plus or minus 100 meetings.
Yeah, plus or minus, yeah.
that sounds like it could be 0 or 200.
Right.
0 to 200.
That's a good range, somewhere in between.
Zero's okay. So skimming it again, so accurately reporting attendance and transcribing motions and the results. I think there's a big gap there of actually doing what's between the motions, of like the discussion. We're not, and maybe that's the piece that's missing. It doesn't mention any of the discussion, which,
So do we put accurately reporting attendance and all discussions at meetings? That sounds good. But I think pulling out the accurately transcribing motions and results of votes is obviously critical.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that should
No,
be,
I
that should
thought
be
there was a
pulled
kind of a
out.
gap there.
Right, that should be pulled out individually, but,
And really, what I'm driving at is, I really like, and I think a lot of people have liked, the really thorough minutes, but then we kind of backed off of those so Naomi could catch up. But then I think you've come back to the really thorough ones. And so that, just to keep it from slipping down to, okay, you're gonna pay me $900 a month just to report attendance and transcribe motions and amount.
right.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's what the
Yeah. That's-
discussion.
I just wanna say,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying it.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, we are going to make it very clear that they're transcribing the minutes of the meeting, right? So
yeah,
a lot of things are, at times are generalized a bit because there's, you know, that doesn't need to be
right.
part of the minutes. but-
Well, minutes aren't 100% anyway. Minutes is a synopsis of what we've talked about.
Exactly.
So we're not going to do it word for word.
But it's going to go beyond motions and votes as
Right.
Salem
Well,
suggested.
that's what I was just saying, is I liked, and I think a lot of people like the version that is more verbose.
Well, you can have more, but you don't have to have it word for word.
But like,
No,
Ke-
not
like
word for
Kevin
word,
said,
so
not,
it-
and, all that in there, right?
No,
But-
no.
But that was missing, I think Ricky's modification today, and discussions covers that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, I believe there's gonna be a vetting of this candidate, and I hope that we share what we currently are doing as a baseline of what we expect
Yeah.
that individual to perform, correct?
I think so.
Okay, good.
So so I think we have the task description and qualifications pretty
So
nailed.
let me just say, the only thing you had me cross off, the confidentiality.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be available in case of, I put emergency, you want electronic emergency?
Emergency's fine.
Just
We can clarify that
With
later.
24-hour notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first one says accurately report attendance and discussions at the meetings, and then list the meetings. Would that be?
I
List
think,
the boards?
I think the list of meetings should be above everything. Personally.
Then she can go online at the beginning of each month and see when the meetings are. They're posted. You've got a calendar out there.
Or Beth can just put her on the email for the calendar. You're still sending that out, right?
Nah, Monique's doing it now.
Monique, okay. Well, Monique, put her on the list.
So she also can know that the first Tuesday, the second and
Yeah,
fourth
yeah.
Thursday. you
Absolutely.
know, Because whoever does is gonna wanna have a little bit of planning,
Yeah.
Right.
you know.
Which is,
If
they're pretty,
someone comes to us part-time and has kids,
Mhm.
you know, maybe something they wanna do at night when they can be available for the kids.
I think
They're
it's
gonna
pretty
wanna know
regimented,
that
the
It's this
schedules.
Tuesday, or this Monday, or this Wednesday, or, you
well,
know.
I think the meetings are pretty regimented with the off, meeting of a site walk or, something's,
Correct.
right, so,
Yeah, the routine,
right.
the meetings are very routine.
Yeah, I just want, yeah. And then I think if we, just job descript, or the posting,
You wanted the RSA on there too, Salem, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did add that after New
Thank
Hampshire
you.
law,
Yeah,
RSA
yeah,
9183.
Mhm.
My mistake, I did
Okay.
add that. And I also had anticipated plus or minus 100 meetings a year.
Well, I don't know, nobody else like that, so whatever you want to say, I guess.
Anywhere from 100 to 200.
Get nobody to apply.
yeah, nobody would apply for that, yeah. So, approximately 100, I think, is a good number. I think it's a
If
good-
we're listing the boards out, can we say we know, I mean, we know the schedule anyway, just put it down, like, in line with that, planning board, whatever, and then they can do the math.
The only thing is it could change.
Yeah. The only thing the zoning board changes in 2 months is, the zoning board, 4th of July falls on Tuesday this year, so they're gonna meet the following Tuesday. You know, something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
So is this person also going to do like the CIP committee and,
Nope,
no, okay. Just asking.
Parks and Rec does theirs, CIP,
Okay,
we've had Katie do the CIP once.
yeah.
They're usually during the day.
Usually in the morning, 8:30 in the morning.
Mm.
So I think we're on to the posting for the actual job. First thing I changed was the town of Ware is seeking applications for a stipend minute taker for, list the boards.
And
And then I think,
Board of Selectmen in that list.
yeah, select board has to be in there too, but obviously the other three. I think we can eliminate that second sentence, which the position involves taking monthly meeting minutes in person.
Yep.
Or is it worth replacing it with, involves taking monthly meeting minutes, transcribing from video recordings?
Yeah,
The position involves taking, I would eliminate obviously monthly,
Meeting minutes.
taking meeting minutes via electronic format.
via
'Cause You
YouTube.
got YouTube, you got Channel 6,
Yeah.
they could sit here if they wanted to, I mean, it's, we're not gonna tell them they can't sit here,
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
if they
So-
wanted to,
right.
so,
Why or however they can do it. I don't know how to say. I mean, you've got,
yeah.
Individual will have the option to work remotely? Does that work?
The position involves taking meeting minutes, either remotely or in person.
Correct.
Sure.
Yeah.
I say, if they want, that's
Yeah,
their prerogative, they can be here.
yeah.
Yeah, some people might find it easier to be here.
Is everybody starting at 6:30 now, or is
No.
it just us and the Board of Fireworks?
fireworks start at 6.
Okay,
We start at 6:30.
so maybe we,
Maybe just take that out, put evening or something?
I was gonna say, maybe we just put, meetings are held, generally held in the evening at the town office building.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
No, you don't like that, do you?
No, I was just wondering when they're not in the evenings.
CIP, but she's not doing them,
Chris
he's
not
not
doing
doing
theirs.
them. I like just in the evenings. I don't think,
Generally.
and you can take starting at 7 out.
Yeah, and the meetings are required to provide formal account, I like all that, and who would carry out these actions, I like that.
So we have eliminated other requirements include reliability, punctuality, flexibility, right? Sense of humor. We've eliminated.
I was kinda liking that sense of humor one, I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
And the last one would just be this, would be
Yeah,
a
the-
monthly stipend of
$900 per
$900.
month.
The stipend rate is $900 per month with no benefits. That sound right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
You probably have to change your email.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much wraps that up.
Yeah.
Does everybody think?
Kind of give it, what are you talking, a week, 2 weeks?
Oh, I'd say give it 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, at least.
Do, now, but, all right, let me ask this. 2 weeks, obviously, probably the messenger, right? The town
As long as you
website.
Put it on the town website, I mean,
Well, I'm
I'm
just,
doing okay at the Facebook page.
I'm looking
not
for,
a Facebook
I'm
person.
thinking of exposure, personally.
Yeah.
Messenger, town, the website, Facebook page, and Indeed, because we have an Indeed account.
Do we have an Indeed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know how to do Indeed, but I can ask.
I think those, I think
That
those
might be
four.
okay for this position.
What
You don't
about
wanna
New-
look for
Isn't
truck
New Hampshire,
drivers on.
isn't there a New
Yeah, we
Hampshire
tried that.
website where you can put?
Yeah, was it,
Indeed, the Messenger, the website, and Facebook.
yeah, there's
NH something. yeah.
NHMA, yeah, NHMA,
And where in the world?
yeah. Again, I'm just thinking exposure, that's all. All right,
Indeed. No, I got Indeed.
You
Messenger.
got someone who's proficient, it's way to make some side money and do it when you wanna do it, as long as you.
Yeah, if you're a night owl.
schedule, yeah, on your
teacher.
schedule, yeah.
It'd be a
Night
good
owl,
gig
let
for
kids go to
somebody.
bed.
Oh, yeah, on their schedule, I think it's a fair wage too, I think it's fair.
Maybe I'll go home, knock it out.
I think.
You thinking about taking it?
Yeah.
I'm
You
right
can
on
stand
that.
right around the clock. No sleep for you.
And you didn't like meeting Thursdays.
Wow.
I guess you at least be home though.
I'll get you a Dunkin' Donut gift card,
Yeah.
stay up all night.
So I guess that brings us to the suggested proposal.
Oh, yes.
I don't wanna lose sight of it, I just wanted to nail that out first, that's all.
So the transcriber proposal is a,
Years ago.
That's a go, yeah.
The,
The only,
I'm gonna move it in the budget.
What's the starting truck driver rate now, Beth? With the
that's
last
now with the
5%?
5% and everything in it.
You're gonna ask.
It was, what, 1861 or something?
It's 19 and low change now, isn't it?
Just hire someone.
Putting it close to
19
20.
wasn't certified though.
5?
What meeting was that?
I
Austin.
think it puts it close to 20
Paul,
then.
yeah, what meeting was
Should
that?
be.
Was that May first?
I think it was 1860 something, I
It would have
thought.
been,
And
And
then
then 5% of that.
look at that
90
one.
more cents, buck more, plus the 50 cents.
Keep going.
Jason.
Right.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
All right, there we
this
go.
one before the 50, but yeah, so it'd be,
With the 50 things.
it'd be,
Within
it must be like 1950 right now, so it'd be 20 bucks.
It's 1950.
State's just not
Starts
bad
at
still,
19
aren't they?
and then 50
District
cents
5?
after.
Okay, so we hired the kid that's gonna get his CDL within 6 months. We started him at $19 an hour and 50 cents in 6 months after he obtained his CDL.
All right, so it's 1950?
1950 would be what he's at
And
with.
if we okay the additional 50, it puts the
Put 'em
base
at
at 20.
so. Which
So,
I don't, yeah, it is
I
not out of the realm of things.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just thinking, 2 for the hill. The 2 on the hill,
At the transfer station?
yeah.
Actually, I was gonna ask that if that included that or not.
Well, those two just got one.
The problem is,
But right now, there's only one, right? So you can hire the new person, whatever you want.
We did hire him.
well, we did hire a
Oh,
new
that's
person
right,
up
we
there
did,
now.
yeah.
And the other one still has a probation increase coming up.
Right,
Right.
right, but
Probation till
but
July.
I still think that we need to be proactive as we can, when we can.
Yeah, there's a but in there. Like, but there's a limitation to where.
Oh, we're, yeah, yeah, that what we can do and what we can't do, and I understand that 100%, but I think that we need to do anything in our power to do it correctly, and,
They are two different jobs, so.
no, they are.
Like $500.
Yeah.
And one requires a license and the other one doesn't require a license. I meant a CDL.
Well, not necessarily.
Not all of them, right.
No.
Right, we got kids, if we're gonna put the 50 cents across the board.
Well, there's also, I mean, we, at this board level, have asked to have the transfer station operator have a CDL,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's not that much
Is he
different.
working on that?
I have no idea. But again,
Like,
it's,
that was gonna be one of my questions, if it was, cause it does say highway, so I guess I could've read that, but I always try to do straight across with public works.
right, I just don't
Only
wanna,
cause you're gonna cause animosity down there, it's short-staffed enough.
Right.
right.
It's gonna stay that way. Every town's looking.
Oh, it's, again, it's not, we're never gonna put the fire
Well,
out,
it's important to keep the ones you got.
but,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we gotta do what we can to keep the fire at bay,
Yeah, they have to have a living wage.
so.
And that's still below.
It is.
It's
That's
not
way
putting
below.
anybody up.
And that's my point is even, including that, both departments are still under.
And that, say it's $20 starting truck driver, that's with the licenses needed.
Right.
There's a lot of other jobs that start higher than that and
Yeah,
with, pay for the training and then get more after, and this is coming in with all the tools you need for $20 an hour.
right, and comparable benefits. So,
I
just,
just, in that, and we can do that, right, without vote?
Can we?
yeah, we can do this at the board level, yes.
That's my question.
But I just,
Short 470.
So is the question, at least the question that's in front of me right now, is the 50 cents just across the board for the 12, if staffed completely at 12? That's what the suggestion is. And is it fair or equitable just to do it across the board? You know, we have people with certain skill sets down there. We've talked about merit-based pay.
I think
I
so.
definitely would like the interim DPW director in on this conversation at some point. I mean, I believe that is imperative. It would have been something you would want to have been involved in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we talked about the transfer station, when we had that little surplus left over from that Warren article, I told him that we didn't have enough to give his guys, but if things come up, you know, they're our first next in line to
Right.
try to get them up there.
Okay.
Because we helped out the library and helped
Well-
out the transfer station part-timers.
Obviously, the number's not going away, so maybe what we do is we have that discussion with the director.
And how much
at the
more
next-
did you say now? I heard you $450
$478
to put the transfer station guys in there?
Put those two in there.
Well, in 2023, you have enough.
Yeah,
Because
you'll have enough.
you
This
obviously
year
have
you'll
vacancies.
We got all.
But on
this
default budget 24, we would be short
Short a little bit,
475.
500
Be
bucks.
short $500.
Right, so, next work session? Have that discussion?
Well, I guess, I mean, it's up to you guys how you wanna handle a meeting. I guess we can argue out our thoughts on it, and then we ought to talk to Jason and his feelings.
That's what I'm saying, is table
We
it,
can get rid of some of our concerns amongst the board now, so that when he comes in, we don't add on another hour to the
well,
work session.
I don't think we have, I think the concerns have been voiced, I think.
Yeah, I don't have any.
So this would cover the 12 drivers and operators at the highway,
Correct.
and the 2 full-timers at transfer, right now.
No.
This amount, no. What
this
we're
is just highway.
what we're
I
talking about,
understand, but
yes.
I thought we just had talked about adding that $500.
What we're talking about, yes. That's what we wanna talk, that's what we're trying to talk
That's what I
about.
thought maybe we'd
Yeah.
finish tonight, and then we can ask.
Well, again, it's gonna be the $500 shortfall in 24 on default budget.
So,
Let's
maybe-
get
His
Yeah,
decision
now
is
all
gonna
the
be like
lady
no
at the
to
money's
the
here.
12 in order to get,
By my
I was
math,
gonna
if
say
we made
no.
it 48 cents, we come out even.
you got New Hampshire retirement system in there?
Okay, we'll make it like 45 cents. Like, we can drop it a bit. that's
Oh,
my
you
point.
can. I can get it right to the penny if you want 14 people instead of 12.
so we have the new hire,
If that's what you guys want, we can.
we have the new hire at the transfer station who's been there, I guess, 3 weeks, no longer.
It hasn't
No.
even started.
Hasn't even started yet.
Okay,
Started, yeah.
whatever, but it's, whatever, the hire was
Incoming.
made, I'm just guessing, sometime when I was gone.
He's starting tomorrow.
So, we're not gonna give that person a 50-cent bump day one he starts, are we?
Probably not.
So,
We just were trying to bring the floor up, I thought was, because we asked about new hires, and was gonna bring the floor of the new hires up.
Gonna bring everyone up, including your floor, for your new hires.
Right, so we can't
You
leave
can't.
out the last guy, then we can't leave out one person then.
No,
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
You-
You
you have
did
a-
ask that question, you're
Right.
right, yeah. Yeah, because it was gonna be given
So
to
we're gonna do it for current staff or all upcoming, one or the other. And I think should have
Both.
have the floor come up, because,
right,
I think it was both we were talking about, right?
yeah.
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 So I guess I think I feel that the biggest discussion is, are we
I guess-
including transfer station?
yeah, I guess I try to put myself in the shoes of the employee, right? So, we have an employee who has been taking the lead position, who's in a probation type period, a bit of a flux. We're gonna bump him 50, and the guy that he hired today is gonna get bumped 50 the same day.
But they're still getting 50. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but we're not giving a merit-based raise, we're giving an increase straight across. A few
Right.
years ago, gave $1 across, and the 20-year guy got the same money as
Yeah.
The one
they're
year guy.
getting 50 cents more.
Yeah, it's not,
Complain that guy below
It's-
him getting 50 cents more. I
what are
mean,
they gonna do with
It's-
50 cents?
It's a fair
it's not a merit-based saying he did this.
across the
He
board.
did something great, it's just everybody's gonna be on the same level.
So,
Yeah, it's just something I'm not accustomed to.
I think, but I
Get a
think,
raise before you start.
And that one particular spot, I won't disagree, that's kind of a gray water one, right? Because.
Right, because we moved,
But I don't know how you not do it.
Yeah, I don't
Just so
think you can.
happens this discussion comes up the week that we start. and-
yeah, or the week after we hire them.
Yeah,
He hasn't gotten
I
to
don't
work. He hasn't
disagree
gotten to
with it.
work yet, we gave him a raise.
Right, and I don't disagree
I like
with that,
that.
but we're offering to give a raise to people that haven't started. I understand, but I feel that we gotta give that position the 50 cents or,
are you gonna have problems?
Whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I guess,
I guess we don't have to give that one individual and just give that position in case he gets done and.
It's a similar situation, if we hired somebody like the day before the election, and the town gave everybody a raise, like, they still get a raise.
Yeah.
This is a little different, because we're doing it,
Yeah.
it does feel weird, but,
It's almost like
I-
you're discriminating on a new
that's,
person.
that's what we would do, right? If,
Right.
to Salem's point, if they were hired 2 days beforehand.
No, and I understand it, and again, I won't waste anybody's time. It's just that they're uniquely different position, the two departments are uniquely different, and so when we looked at what is the average pay for the truck driver and what is our competitors in town paying, you know, I happen to know that Mount Williams starting when they're advertising is at 20 for a truck driver. So we've now at least gotten on par where, do I take a left or I take a right when I go out my driveway, right? Where am I going to work? To drive a truck. So, but I don't see, I see it made a fundamental difference between DPW road and DPW transfer station.
For 14 people.
That's where I get kind of hung up. But I'm okay with,
But I agree, but I don't have it in front of me, but their pay number isn't the same. The attendant isn't getting what a truck driver's getting, right? Should know we hired him last week, but I didn't write it. That paper's at home.
What's the attendant
So I
getting for
guess I
pay
see
up
what you're
there?
saying, but
Which attendant? are we talking
The new one.
The new one.
Yeah, he's going from 18
what about a
to
percent
19,
across the
and
board
this
then?
guy's going from 19
Because then
to
the
18.
guys
He's
that are,
going
that have been there
dollar
longer,
difference.
making more, all that.
Dollar
Guys
difference.
that are driving
Dollar
trucks,
less
they're
than
going to
truck
get
driver.
more.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more math, but maybe that solves the problem.
What was the answer?
$1 less.
Which is not a CDL position.
right,
That number 2 is not a CDL
right,
position.
right. CDO ought to be worth all of a dollar, so.
Oh, absolutely. Then some. So,
So it's
I'm
not-
okay.
It's not as low as I thought it was, to be right honest.
I'm all done discussing it.
42 cents brings it to 0.
there's your number. He was, Salem was asking about a percentage, but,
Yeah, we said a flat percentage across the boards, that would address, you know, if the thought is there are
Makes
truck
it more
drivers that should make more, well, they're already making more, so they will
Get more.
get a larger bump.
but then you're
versus-
talking tenure versus.
Yeah.
somebody
1
could
year.
suck- Somebody could suck
2
up a
years.
lot of
I
the.
guess to be
Yeah.
honest with you in something like this, and doesn't mean I'm right, just I guess past experience of seeing how people's feelings are hurt is giving a flat dollar number on this.
Just do it across
The
the board, have it
percentage
done
at
with.
town vote's great because I'd always tried to keep the tenure guy there this much above the other guy, right? So, and this would do the same thing like you said, but I think there's a lump sum of money, I'd feel better with it, either way, but I'd feel better just giving the 50 cents. And I would be in favor of giving the 50 cents and seeing if, between Jason and Beth, if they feel comfortable coming up with $480 out of a default budget.
Or the number that they worked up was 42, across the board. no
42
no
cents.
questions.
Yeah.
No questions. But again, I think now that,
In favor of either one, I guess.
like you were just talking about, now we've got the board questions out of the way, we can bring Jason in.
I think the whole place, the tenant is maybe more than I thought, but I think they're all, where always has been, always will be behind the 8 ball on pay, but
Yeah.
it brings everybody up, gets closer.
Yeah, one step closer,
The number of vacancies
Look.
is just
little chisels.
incredible.
It is, and I'm
Yep,
afraid
it's
to give
just-
them, and it,
In order to get them in the door, that we have to do something.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, it's, like I said, every penny counts, honestly.
we wanna make sure we're very fair to the ones that are there, cause we don't wanna lose any more.
I was gonna say, can't
Keeping the
keep
ones that
them.
are there,
That's huge,
getting them
retention,
in, we know is gonna be tough until things change
so.
in the
I
market.
don't think, so we
Right.
get robots, it's not gonna change.
Right.
So,
Alright.
so where did you leave that?
I think the discussion here is done, I think that was Benji's
So we're gonna
point.
give it, we're in favor of giving it across the board to DPW, is that?
We gotta find the
Yes.
$580 and we have
480,
to- or
500
whatever it
even,
was.
yeah.
And we have to have a discussion with Jason.
Yep.
And or, right.
Yeah, either find the $500 or
Do you have an
42
opinion,
cents.
Beth, or you don't wanna weigh in? As far as should we try to go over the 500 and look for default, or even it out at 42 cents?
Well, we can probably find it. It's not that much, we could probably find it.
Okay.
But, I don't know, transfer station's budget's so tight, and that's the one that we're gonna have to find it in.
So, okay.
You wanna noodle it?
My noodle. Okay. Well, I think we're in,
We have-
I think we're in
We get
agreement, it's
part-time
either,
hours.
there's one or two option. It's
Right.
Bring the
42
hours down
or
a
it's
little bit.
find the money, so we'll have that discussion, I think, with Jason.
Yeah, I guess that would be, if we're gonna do something like that, that'd be definitely.
Yeah, we've got that narrowed down, so.
I don't think
it's-
anybody will be squawking over 8 cents, right?
No. So,
I gotta say,
$20 sounds a lot better than
So you wanna continue that
1992.
part of the discussion with Jason at,
next work session. Does that sound appropriate, next work session?
yeah.
Okay.
which would be 5/22?
Okay. Brings us to building inspector job description and advertisement.
Reload package, Frank, we killed a few more trees.
Okay.
Thank you, Beth.
We should
Appreciate it.
be, we should be investigating.
Oh, yeah, we don't have enough signatures.
Oh, okay, I'll wait.
So-
Well,
That's good, because the pulp market's in the toilet.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Wednesday.
Thank you.
So what's coming your way is, again, same thing out on the listserv, you asked me to look for job descriptions and maybe job ads. So in your package, the first couple of sheets is the 2021 ad and the job description that we currently have. Behind that are 3 current ads that are at the NHMA, which is a part-time building inspector in Winchester, an assistant building inspector, which is full-time in Conway, and a temporary code enforcement building inspector, full-time in Strata.
Wow.
Then the job descriptions that you have attached, some gave a dollars amounts and some didn't. Hampton Falls, it's part-time, they do 24 hours a week, and he or she gets $45,000 in salary. Vermont's full-time. Francistown is part-time, I'm guessing, I couldn't read it from the job description, doesn't say. Guilford, I don't know what theirs is. Fremont does part-time, 30 hours a week, they pay $26.25. New Boston's part-time, 24 hours a week, $24 an hour. Alton is full-time, Bow is full-time, 32.04 to 39.02 an hour, and Plymouth is part-time for 16 to 20 hours a week. So that's what I was able to find. What I also found somewhat interesting, and I think I mentioned this to you guys before, was, for instance, the gentleman in Francistown does Bennington and Francistown as one job. New Boston does just New Boston, Tuesdays to Thursdays. Dunbarton, that gentleman does Dunbarton and Allenstown. Henniker, that gentleman does Broughton, Hancock, and Henniker. And Hopkinton does Hopkinton and Bow.
What
So, that's all I was able to gather.
What about New Boston? Would the,
New Boston,
He's-
Tuesday
just
to
doesn't-
Thursday.
yeah, would they be willing to
No, you asked.
work here a couple days a week?
I got a no on them.
You did?
I got a flat no even on usually.
Oh. Well, guess not.
I
I was
tried.
just thinking some of those guys are doing 2 towns,
Well, I'm just
so.
explaining that there are guys that do
Yeah.
multi-towns because of either size or time.
Yeah,
You know, but the ad that we ran in 2021, and we ran for a long time before we got one person. As I've discussed many, many times, I'm not sure where you find these people. And the Fremont, in the email, there was an advertisement, you know, there are approximately 4,800 people looking for part-time, 25, 30 hours a week, which is processing permits, a wide variety of inspections, zoning compliance, which Tony's been taking care of that, plan review and code duties, which that's, health officer, that's not, Katie's doing that, and then it talked about record keeping, organizational. So I shared with you everything I could find. While I was sharing, I was also asking our neighbors, which is where I got all the people working in double towns.
Yeah.
How many,
I didn't get everybody to answer.
I know it's not enough, but how many hours right now are we being helped with?
So right now, we're being one day, and he's here from, I think it's like 8 to 5. He's been doing,
You getting
so what he
them?
does is he comes in the morning, and he takes any reviews the plans, and then he goes out, and Katie gives him anywhere between 10 and 13 inspections. Sometimes he's back by 2 or 3. If so, he goes and grabs a few more that we're waiting for the next week that are ready, and he can go back out and do those.
They feel like they keep it up really?
So right now, when you call for footing and foundation, Tony's been going out, because he's just checking for rebar and other things. That's kind of where we're, electrical, I mean, we're doing a lot of solar now, so there's a lot of electrical. And then there's electrical involved when you do the building part of it, because you're framing, electrical and plumbing is one inspection.
I feel like as busy as things are, even if it's not 8-hour days, I would, like 3 days a week, every other day.
Yeah, we had 30 hours with Romeo. He opted to do it in 4 days.
Yeah, however, I mean,
However,
more
but-
days the better, I guess, but if somebody's here, at least 3 of those to,
Yeah, right now, we had 2 with
Feel like
mutual
1 or
aid,
2
and
is-
now we have 1. We had 2 days, but.
probably is not keeping contractors happy. Yeah,
I know I'd mentioned Tessia, but what about Kyle Parker? He worked part-time for us before.
I guess anybody put in for it, right?
Yeah, you can put in for it.
Yeah.
We just need to decide how many hours we want them to have, and
What
I
the
don't
hourly
know if
rate's gonna
he's
be.
available, if he's interested, but you might be able to work him in for a few months till you can find somebody else.
and a pay.
Well, I think there's, I understand what you're saying, Benji, as far as the, you know, the contractors are upset, but I don't think we're the only one in this boat.
Well, I don't
And-
either, and I'm not
and-
blaming anyone, I'm just trying to,
Andover's looking for one, Winchester, all these other ones are looking for.
I
Yeah.
guess what we're doing is trying to,
Yeah.
that's where I'm trying to move forward on, is we're supposed to be discussing the description and the advertisement, just trying to start somewhere. How many days a week do you think we
Yeah.
want somebody here?
Yeah, oh, I think at least 3.
I feel like at least every other day.
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday
Yeah,
would
at
be, would be
least. And if
3
somebody-
days.
If somebody like Romeo wants to do it in 4, then even better, but.
But he was 30, right? Romeo was doing 30,
30 hours.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of where my feelings is, need to decide how many days, how many hours,
Yeah, so what we
and
did
then
with
how much per
Romeo is
hour.
we put his time down, and then he wouldn't take it, and if you look at the ad, we were looking for somebody Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Mhm.
Actually, it was 25 hours a week, I'm sorry, not 30, because if you look at the time frames, it was Monday and Wednesday was 10, and Friday was 5.
Right, yeah, because was
We
it,
had a terrible time finding him without altering that schedule.
was there a threshold on benefits, is that why we went 25?
Well, because you're a permanent part-timer at that point,
Yeah,
and you can earn sick time at a reduced, sick and vacation
so do we want to keep these hours in
at a
place?
reduced. That's all you got budget for, I think.
Yeah, so
$30 an hour, 25 hours.
I
I
think
guess
that's,
to
yeah.
Naomi's point of picking days, if we said 25 hours, that'd have to at least be 3 days, ain't gonna pull 2 12, so.
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah, get rid of the days,
3/8.
get rid of the days, just say 25 hours.
So on page 2, are we changing 20 to 25?
Yeah, that's the,
This is the old one, right? Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we have,
But this is our starting point, right?
yeah.
This is our draft.
25.
throwing things at me, man. See how it is.
Says they provide their own transportation, that, they have a truck now, right?
No, that's to get to here. We're not providing one.
In other words, he doesn't get a truck to take
I
it.
understand. Is that in every job description? That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we can take that out, because it does allude that you're gonna be running around.
Well, right there, it's, yeah, to his point, it says maintains a record, job-related mileage, and reimburse that mileage, so I think probably when we put this together, we didn't have one.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we just take that
That's the only
whole
reason I was asking.
line right
Yeah,
out.
that-
I was
that truck
unfamiliar,
was
that's the
in
only reason I was
check.
asking.
No, I think we just take that whole line out.
Yeah.
Agreed?
It really doesn't, he doesn't make his own schedule. The office does. Because they're here all the time.
Now we
Says the
got,
inspector's schedule.
So should we change that to building department? The building department schedules and performs.
or just take it out, because we have people that schedules them, right? Or no?
Take schedule and out,
Well,
and just performs
I guess they can
inspections.
schedule his own, I mean, I don't know.
So you can take schedule and the word and out.
Yeah,
The
all you
inspector
gotta do.
performs
Inspections.
inspections
as
and
needed
projects
to
as
assure
needed.
full compliance.
Compliant.
I think the rest of that looks fine.
Sure.
Supervision received is fine.
Catching up.
No.
So did we leave that part in about be available to the public to answer code-related questions?
I think so.
I would think so. And that, but, I mean, there's interpretation of that, right? Because email, voicemail, right?
Yeah,
And
you
then-
gotta have, whatever.
Right,
An
so,
hour a day to do that, probably.
but again, that's still being available to the public.
Right. Email being still to-
Yep.
Do we have another job description from another
We
town?
have a
Yeah,
town
you
phone,
do.
I mean, that doesn't have to go in the description.
There's several of them.
Okay, cool.
Some of them are very detailed, some not so much.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're going, are we still going down what we had before, we've done for the examples?
No, I was just curious about, yeah, I'm just looking at something in that.
Kevin wanted to, he was just looking at one of the other ones, that's all.
I just wanna know, code requirements isn't very specific. I mean, it says state, but there's, there's Boca, there's a number of different towns operating in different.
So in, in '09, Hampton Falls talks about enforce the full range of national, federal, state building codes and town ordinance such as the IRC, the IBC,
Right,
which is, I just abbreviated them for you. Electrical, plumbing, mechanical, fuel, gas, energy, and life-saving, NFPA. Is that what you were asking for?
yeah,
specific codes?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's the job.
Mhm.
That is the job. That's what you have to know to do the job.
see,
You just don't walk around and go, oh yeah, that looks good, I did it that way once. Standards,
yeah, but the job description on the Hampton Falls one is a multiple, that's code enforcement, building inspection, planning and zoning administrator, and health inspection.
Right.
there's a lot there.
There's a lot there.
Right. And you already have a health officer.
Right, so I think that one's a little in-depth,
Overboard, yeah.
yeah.
And the other thing is that, I don't know about all these, we haven't had a chance to really look at them, but I know that some of the towns, they don't do the electrical at all. Somebody else, they have to have somebody come in and double-check electrical before they
It's-
give the final thing, because they're not all licensed electricians.
Right, which I've heard that.
Yeah, they use a state electrical inspector for that.
Right, wrong, right, different, I mean.
Yeah, that's what he's there for.
And he's been here, so.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said, Kevin.
I said they call him the state electrical inspector.
Yeah.
And that's what he's, whenever they're questioning.
The same thing with the plumbing. If they don't know it, they have to have a licensed plumber come in.
There's a state, no, not necessarily licensed, but there's a state plumbing inspector also.
Yeah.
I know Naomi did bring up solar happening more and more. I don't know. If we could get somebody with electrical, I think that'd be, having just gone through a big electrical upgrade at our house with the previous town inspector not doing a bang-up job, in my opinion, of inspecting it. The work was, I think, done correctly, but the inspection was not phenomenal. I think electrical would be high up my list.
Well, I talked about, again, what about, I won't say dividing it up, but you may find a licensed electrician, but then do you find someone to do the plumbing and the framing after? I mean, or might, you know, do you take the,
It's like the fire chief doing, you know, life
yeah, we're trying to
safety.
get him to do mechanicals again, because that got taken away from him and then never returned.
I think that the intern would be okay with that.
Yeah, I think it will work with that.
Well, if he's qualified,
He is.
because we had some work done at the stone building, and that got signed off on, and that had 29 gas leaks. There was a mess over there, and that got signed off, so I just want to make sure whoever we get
Yeah,
knows what they're doing.
Well, obviously, it'd be, this, like DPW, it'd be nice to find someone well-rounded, so you don't have the same person call 3 different people, so I guess we'd try for
Well,
that,
that-
and then
and
see
that's
where
where
we,
we're-
if
yeah.
we can't, we can't. If it, we gotta sub a second electric, call the state inspector,
Right.
then fine, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice to try to get, I mean, it isn't terrible pay if we give them $30 an hour for 25 hours a week.
right. But like you said, on the flip side, to find that,
Somebody
that
that's got all of it.
needle in the haystack is gonna be some difficult, especially in this labor market.
Well, so my thought was with the so many solars, because when you new homes, it kind of gets combined together. If you look at the checklist for your building homes, your checklist is of framing, electrical, and plumbing is one of them before insulation.
Right.
So, but the amount of the solar and the additions that are just, you know, solar in general is all I can think of is, we're busy with solar, is that requires just an electrical inspection, really.
Right, yeah.
So, do I take the guy and put him, and what we've been doing is grouping him. So if you call, like the other day, he had 3 right on East Shore Drive. And then
That's
he had
perfect.
3 on Colby, so.
Perfect.
We, even though whenever you call, they're grouped, so you're not going there to there to there to there.
Ping ponging around town.
So we, you know, the girls have done a really nice job with putting them together.
Coordinating them.
I asked about the electrical and Jack said he's doing it now. I mean, just the way the girls are scheduling it and he's getting them done. And he's getting some into the next week done because when they call, they ask if they're ready to go. And if this Thursday, he's got an additional hour or 2, he can grab a handful and go and take the next off the next week.
Right.
So, right now it's working, probably not ideal for everybody, but it's to find that well-rounded person, it's gonna be
Gotta be
pretty hard. They're always usually a retired builder.
I was gonna say, that's the one thing with this, is usually it's someone retired, so it might be more, better chance of getting a full-time something.
Maybe, hopefully.
You know, I tried to see if one of the other towns would, but a lot of them replied that, you know, they've got enough doing the extra 2 and 3.
Right.
They don't really wanna add,
Yeah.
because we're, you know, they all think we're small, we're not 10,000 people, we're small.
Right.
So,
Lucky thing is, we don't need much administrative from him, because we got,
We have a couple
yeah,
of those.
because all they do is they bring it back and the girls take care of the folder and, you
Right.
know, and they've got their report, inspection report, so he notes it there, so she can follow up with people, he doesn't have to make his own phone calls. So, we're putting out as much as we can and doing what we can, but we're gonna have to do something.
Right.
Because he's gonna have to go back to Goffstown.
Soon. Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine.
just that same paper, I didn't know if we're still going down it, for examples of duties that scratched off the top one, be available in the office.
Yeah, 'cause, no.
Doesn't have to be, obviously he's there and someone comes in, we expect him to answer the question, but.
Right, and I think,
But we did that before, when we had a full-time one, we would, from 8 to 10, we allowed, if you had a question, he was here.
That's
And then at
crazy.
10, we sent him on his way.
right, but we're not,
We're not giving full-time this time.
but I don't know if we're gonna have that flexibility.
Right. I think they come in and he's here, then great, and if not, then they leave their message and gets back to them, the girls, being a part-time, full-time's completely
Different.
different.
So would you also scratch maintains records of all permits and other activities?
Yeah, his
I believe
office
it's-
does that.
yeah.
He's not gonna do that. Right, the girls, one of the girls will do it.
I guess leave, schedule and perform. I
I-
mean, the girls will probably schedule, we'll just leave it there.
I would leave
He
it there.
might come in and say, no, I wanna
Yeah.
do this thing, yeah.
Right.
Well then, but we scratched it above.
Maintain records of all permits and other activities. He's not gonna maintain them.
We already scratched. Yeah. No, I mean, we scratched schedule.
Yeah, we did in the job
Oh,
summary, didn't we?
yeah,
So just get rid of scheduled?
Yeah.
And leave it as perform
yeah, yeah.
perform required inspections?
Inspections.
The other three above maintains you're leaving?
Yes.
Not the top one.
No. You're not leaving the top one?
No.
No.
Take it off, be available in the office. We're leaving accept and review, leaving coordinate, and then taking off maintain, that whole line. And then just taking off the
Schedule
word
and-
schedule and
I'm
in.
up to you now.
Alright.
Can I jump way ahead?
Are we still in this one packet?
Yeah.
Essential duties or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we know, I'll wait, I'll be more
The
patient.
only,
I'm thinking the budget thing, I don't know.
Yeah, same thing.
Unless, I mean, I guess, how about, makes recommendations, not prepare the budget, but, you know, you can go nail me and say, hey, we need this software, we need this
I
tool,
think you gotta be
whatever.
involved,
Assists in
That's what I'm saying,
preparing.
recommendations, yeah.
involved in annual budget,
Assists in preparing.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, that leaves it open-ended enough to, limited to, you know, deep engagement.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah,
that.
because what Beth does is Beth sends everybody the budget,
Okay.
and then they sit down and they usually bring it in and say, this is what we're doing. But it's honestly, Katie's been doing it.
Jump up to the line under where we took schedule off, write stop work orders and issue and enforce the order, would that be him or is that Tony?
If it's a building issue, it's
It's him.
his, yeah.
It's his, yeah.
Do we have any other essential duties from the other ones that we saw that we wanted to transfer
You
onto?
just got that text, so.
Right, well, I know, I know that Kevin's obviously reading ahead, so I didn't know if he'd seen anything.
I'm more concerned about, what he delegates off to other people and what he actually does is probably gonna evolve anyway. I'm more concerned about what his qualifications are to do the,
Okay.
physically do the job personally.
Okay.
The rest of it is sort of, is gonna happen in-house. Who picks the phone up is
Should we,
probably gonna change on a daily basis, but.
right, now it says duties of the code enforcement officer, that's Tony, that's not really in this anymore, right?
Right, and that's what I mean, this is the building inspector, you're not code enforcement is done, so up in the first paragraph, we should even take that out.
And the title.
For the life of.
Yeah, tell us on the title.
Take the code enforcement officer, out, right.
And the supervision.
All right, so I think we are up to the that puts us on the back page.
Yeah,
So we're scratching this whole thing then.
Yeah,
Knowledge, skills, and abilities required?
I believe that's where it puts us.
Yep.
And this is where you wanted to
Yeah.
chat. Okay.
So I think the biggest, in that description below, if you drop down number 7 or so, familiarity with New Hampshire state building codes, that has to read knowledge of all New Hampshire state building codes. He has to have a working knowledge of
How about-
structural
How about the word proficiency with New Hampshire,
proficiency.
with state building codes?
I liked working knowledge when Kevin
Well,
said
and that's fine.
Yeah, I
Okay, we
think-
put working
I think,
knowledge.
Yeah, it's more of, it really is more of a working knowledge of
Okay.
structural elements.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, yeah, not just familiarity, that's.
No, familiarity is not, no.
Yeah, any person in this room could claim that. So, yeah, the rest of it's pretty straightforward, this ICC course is, that's just a.
And I don't think, I know that there's talk about pushing mechanical back to the fire department, but I don't think that the inspector, having NFPA, code experience is a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. we talked about redundancy and fallback, I think that's the
You might
perfect.
want, you could eliminate the word working knowledge, it just should be knowledge of, you don't need working in front of it.
Well, didn't we just put working knowledge below?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really know, is NFPA gonna be something that he
Well,
has a physical experience with?
well, I think maybe potentially,
Okay.
but again, we kind of want that redundancy factor of the fallback. That's what I was thinking. Doesn't have to be proficient in it, but at least know how to.
Well, go
look
to
it
the
up.
book and look it up.
Look it up, be familiar with some of the codes, obviously, jack of all trades, master of none type thing, but
Yeah.
say, hey, that doesn't look right,
Right.
but
Do we now have mandatory suppression systems in houses, in a residence?
I don't believe so, no.
No,
Not yet?
No.
I think this hold a valid license, I mean, you're not gonna hire somebody that don't have a driver's license. We have the vehicle for transportation, so he doesn't need that,
I think we can get rid of that one. I think we can get rid of the third one,
yeah.
that vehicle for transportation.
And I don't know, if he has all the codes and he knows all this stuff and he's been a builder, I don't know what difference it makes whether he's got a high school diploma or not.
Yeah. I
Let's
think
hope so.
we can leave it in there.
If he's gonna have the computer skills, I would hope he would at least have a high school diploma.
So,
Some of these asking for all kinds of interesting, civil engineering
Yeah.
I
and
don't know the
associate's
best way
degrees
to-
and technical degree in construction, civil engineering. That's Fremont's.
I don't know the best way to fit it in. I'd like to have a preferred electrical familiarity, or really it's the ability.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
That's
But
tough,
I just
there's a
think
lot
it's
to it.
I'd like to have it as a preferred. Not to say it's not a required, it's not a minimum, but if you've got it, wow, we'd really like it.
that would kind of fall in with the NFPA stuff, right?
I don't know,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. like,
knowledge, skills, and ability, yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is I think the mindset is have them familiar with the electrical code. Similar to what I'm saying is,
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Familiar
I
with the
just don't know,
FBA.
like, the proper.
I don't know what the acronym is for electrical code. But, no, I wouldn't, and even the same with plumbing and everything like that, I think it's,
Well, again, that's outlined in New Hampshire State Building Codes. So
Right.
it's gonna say that the work has to be done by a licensed electrician unless being performed by the homeowner, which electrical is,
It's legal for electrical,
if it's your residence.
or you're building a house to live in.
Yeah, I guess.
I just read it
Okay.
not too long ago.
I kinda like, I got Fremont in my hand. I kinda like, there's one line I kinda like here.
Yep, that's the same one I got, right? Go ahead, fire away.
Which one are you looking at, though?
Fremont,
Knowledge.
page 2,
Yep, knowledge and ability.
under education, training, experience.
Okay.
Comprehensive knowledge of state and federal laws, International Code Council, national codes, National Fire Protection Association codes, all locally adopted zoning, land use, and building codes, and all local plan review, excavation, subdivision regulations.
That's,
Where were you?
it's recommended minimum qualifications.
Under education,
Minimum
training, and
page
experience.
2. Yeah, I mean, that's brilliant.
Right there, the
But-
education, training, experience?
Where it says,
Yes.
I skipped the first line, but I went to comprehensive knowledge
Right.
of state and federal laws, International Code Council, NFPA, all locally adopted zoning, land use, building codes, and all local site plan review, excavation, subdivision regulations.
And go on to the next paragraph, Ricky, just for the heck of it.
What's that?
Just go on to the next paragraph for the heck of it.
Sufficient experience to understand the basic principles relevant to major duties of the position, usually associated with 5 years' experience as building inspector and/or code enforcement officer. Expertise in the private building sector desirable, possession of the ICC and FPA certifications, as well as electrical or plumbing licenses preferred.
Yeah.
Equivalent combination of education. That's actually that would be
and even the next one down is good.
Yeah.
Certification as a a building official helpful, and licensure as an electrician or plumber would be useful, but not required. You know, that's,
I mean, this would be the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, if you could get someone to walk in the door with those qualifications.
but I kinda like that whole area minus the first sentence, honestly. And even the last one, possession really a valid driver's license in the state of New Hampshire for the type of vehicle operated.
Why don't you take their job description?
Take an inspector.
Well,
My only
there's
quibble-
things in here that, you know, aren't applicable at all. May provide assistance to land use administrative assistant. There's some things, but this last, page 2, and there's down below knowledge and ability, that reads very, except, again, you know, diploma, associate, or technical degree in construction, civil engineering, and/or related preferred fields. It would sure be nice if you had somebody with an associate's degree in construction and civil engineering.
Do they make such a thing?
Yeah, you can get it right down at Keene State.
But I think that the 4 paragraphs above knowledge, skill, and ability, I think would fit very well for this position.
Yeah, it would.
My only quibble, comprehensive knowledge of, I would add the word applicable, state and federal laws.
That's
We're all
fine.
looking for a lawyer.
That's fine.
Right.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah,
You hear that? Amy?
where is that?
So you're taking these 4 and putting it here?
Yes, what you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes.
Yeah, and where did he add applicable?
After comprehensive knowledge, because we're not gonna take, I think the first sentence,
Yeah, get rid of it.
we can get rid of the first sentence in that first paragraph. High school diploma, blah, 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 blah. It starts at comprehensive,
Yeah, hang on.
okay?
Comprehensive, yep.
Knowledge of applicable,
And you're gonna scratch education, it's just gonna be training and experience, right, Rick?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or we can keep our heading, knowledge, skills, and abilities.
That's fine. But just scratch education, training, experience too, yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep our header and just use that. I think that's a good fit for,
Are you gonna take out your bullets and add those paragraphs, is that what you're thinking?
I think that's accurate.
Just wanna make sure
Yeah.
if I'm gonna
Yeah.
make a note, I don't have to undo it.
But I think that paragraph 4 would be under minimum qualification. Under our header, that'd be under minimum qualification.
Yeah,
That would be the only one I would remove from knowledge, skills, and abilities. So paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 would be under knowledge, skills, abilities, and then move that 4th one down to the next part.
Got it. Yeah,
So this was 1, 2, and 3. And then down here is number 4.
Got another stupid quibble. New Hampshire calls it a driver license.
motor vehicle?
No, it's not possessive. It's not a driver's license. It's just a singular driver license.
Oh.
If we're making edits, might as well.
Okay. Are we gonna use the sentence from Fremont?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, we'll just have to remove the
Yeah,
apostrophe
same
S
thing.
off of it and
Yeah.
put driver. No,
I made the same edit on the other
It's
one.
fine. I'm looking at Alton's right now, and I think that's a little
It's funny, that's a
Well-
small town.
too in-depth, I think.
Fremont's not that big.
No, Fremont, I think they nailed that section, honestly. So are we,
great.
you wanna try a,
Ricky, go on Fremont just for the heck of it while I have you.
what's
Just
that?
go to the last page, 404, and read that little disclosure at the bottom there. that little- That's interesting.
Well, I think it's the out, right?
Yeah,
That's the overall out.
I like that, I
Oh,
like that.
the job description does not,
Constitute an
The
employment
employee-
agreement between the employer and
It's
employee,
subject to change.
and subject to change by the employer as the needs of the employer and requirements of the job change. Which could play into what we do, because we've done so much restructuring in this building. That might not be a bad thing to start putting in some of these descriptions.
Oh, I agree.
I think that's a good,
It's a kind of a nice catch-all.
It's
It
a
gives you
catch-all.
It leaves the door cracked.
right. I would agree.
Just Just something noted, that's all.
Yeah.
Some of you are sitting here.
Anybody else have anything on, say, draft one of the building inspector?
Not for the minute.
A couple of changes. How about the ad? Anything on the ad?
Which ad are we gonna use, ours?
Because we've got a couple of different, we got,
Fremont has their ad too.
yeah, I don't know where I put my ads, where did I put my ads?
That's from how you first.
I think I put them up there, I just wanna make sure I put them.
Cause this one talks about,
Yeah, there's one, yeah.
which is based on their, it would look like this.
No, I didn't, I think
Here's an email, did I not copy that one?
I don't think I have that one.
You got Guilford's.
Cause it's a rural, it says town of Fremont's a rural community, approximately
No.
2,800 is seeking
No.
qualified applicants.
Not in the packet.
For part-time, 25, 30-hour-a-week building inspector, require reprocessing of permits, a wide variety of inspections, septic, building, plumbing, electrical, mechanical. Do you want me to go this through the copy of the?
Yeah, because we didn't get that
It was
one.
part of an email.
No, I didn't get that one.
But it's just the front part is the job description they used in 2019,
Okay.
which is probably as a result of what you just had.
I don't really like Winchesters already. I'm not too far into it and I still don't like it. So I don't think I don't think Winchesters fits our, what do you want?
Not specific enough.
And I don't think that Conway's is detailed enough.
Did you read Stratum? That's full time. No, Stratum's not fit. Pays well.
Does.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. What is labor grade 17? What is labor grade?
That's,
State.
the state has
State
labor
uses
grades.
the
State
labor
uses-
grade. Each job description or each job
Union,
has.
I guess, ain't?
Yeah, yeah, it's usually SEIU.
I mean, I don't know how you guys usually put them out. When I put ads out, 'cause pay so much paper, I just put out a very simple thing and then the job description can be gotten here, you know?
Right.
Well, we just
We just
talked,
put like what kind of this first paragraph that Fremont has and then,
well, we just did one for the minute, the minute taker. I mean, what did we put in that? I think that was pretty, this paragraph from the minute taker was pretty, like I said, loose, and it said, it referenced, a detailed task description qualification be further requested by emailing town administrator, et cetera, et cetera. Which also is on our 2021 posting. A full job description of the position is available by emailing town administrator.
yeah, I mean, I just,
Did you read paragraph 2 of this one, Ben, that you just gave us?
no, I haven't gotten that far yet.
I mean, this sort of opens up to what you said, and then talks about job description available upon request from the selectmen office by contacting the town administrator, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty, I mean, there's a little bit of rewording to make it align with our job description.
I was just, Fremont's a,
Nope,
I
wrong one.
got
That
ours.
one.
right in front of me,
Yeah. I started scratching it off, meant to scratch that off.
Yeah, get rid of the code enforcement stuff.
Right,
but-
that's what I just did.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yes.
this,
Scratch
we're
it.
looking for, Fremont says part-time applicants, 25, 30 hours a week for building inspector.
Yeah, but
Requires process permits, wide variety, lists all of them, septic, building, plumbing, and then
Health is not there, though.
take the health
Health
off.
shouldn't be there, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, just take health out. We
You're
need
gonna
code
take town of
enforcement.
Fremont out too, I'm just saying, let's get the gist of it, and then
Well, I think if
match
you,
it with what we had, right?
I think you start looking at ours, and it's not too bad,
Just put
actually.
ours out, and Naomi can give them
Yeah,
the
it says-
actual description.
It says the town of Ware is seeking highly qualified candidates for the part-time position of building inspector, obviously we gotta change that around, for the Board of Selectmen. The position is responsible for inspecting residential and commercial buildings, alterations in compliance with town, state, and federal codes and regulations. Be ICC certified or certifiable. I might wanna change that a little bit. Professional experience in the building trades is a plus. The hours of the position will be Monday and Wednesday.
Take that out.
Yep.
Yeah, we just gotta get the 25 to 30 hours in
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
The hours will, 25,
25,
25 we talked
yeah,
about.
yeah, just somehow craft in 25 hours in there.
yeah.
Hours required to be 25.
Did
per
Romeo
week.
do 25 or 30?
25.
25 at 30.
Okay.
Full job description of the position is available by emailing town administrator or by calling 529.
With that part,
Can't you
like,
put-
yeah, can we just post it
Post the job
like
description.
back to back and then say, and sure, leave it, but it's, a full job description is posted on the town website alongside this,
Right,
Oh, like a link, almost
Yeah.
like a link behind, underneath it?
We can, I don't wanna post one without completing the other, though.
Sure.
Oh, no, I
I
just
don't
went,
think we should make you a gatekeeper, like,
Yeah.
yeah. But if,
Yeah. No, we
but,
can put them both out there, but I think.
yeah,
without
but I'd leave,
having-
but
I'd
we,
leave that, like, if they can't figure out the website, they could still contact you.
but we should probably have finalized job descriptions
Yeah.
before we post. That's- I
Right.
think that's what Naomi's getting to.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be
You
handy.
don't, you wanna look at both the ad and the.
And know how much we're gonna pay him
Right.
before we interview.
Right.
You said 30 an hour, right, Naomi?
That's what we paid Romeo.
That's what we
Yeah.
did Romeo at 25 hours, so that's what we have allotted.
But if you look at what others are paying,
That's in line.
part-timers, Fremont pays 26.25 for that job description.
Yeah, which is pretty,
New Boston's
Yep.
paying 24,
Right.
Yeah.
right.
you
So,
know. I don't think we're that far out of the park on that one.
No,
And what is it again?
Conway's paying
I
25.
think that'd be awful for
I don't think, I think it's actually
someone
pretty fair.
retired looking for a part-time job.
So,
Finding the, experience, I think.
so we can doctor that up a little bit. I don't think there's a whole lot of changes to
No.
either the description we did tonight. We're at the 2 hour mark, so it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I just wanna recap. I think we made quite a bit of progress, actually, for one night.
So I can throw it, I mean, I don't mind. I
Yeah,
already have the other ones
the
in
changes
there.
are pretty simple.
Yeah.
copy and paste them in.
So, moves to 22. I do have a question about 22,
About 22.
522's agenda.
Oh, yep.
I just drew blank, okay, feels like. I've been here too long.
You want a little pink clip back, Naomi?
You know, yeah,
You want that back?
you don't want the pink paper clip? Come on, that's manly.
Once we get this written up, I'll probably throw some of these papers away.
Yeah, you get a good fire start pile.
Just a
that's for sure.
question,
Yep.
So there's a discussion that we need to have about Invest NH.
Yes.
Right? I got a
Yep.
phone call today from Southern Hampshire Planning, wanted to know, where we were in it, and I
Yep.
said that we had not signed the agreement because there's an interest in having a public meeting.
Mhm.
Now, they've offered to come to the public meeting, Southern Hampshire Planning.
Okay.
Is that something you would like to have?
Do we do that? I mean, as of 8:30 on Monday, we have a pretty light work session next occurrence.
Well, no, well, I don't think so. Cause I had discussed the Invest NH grant on the
Yep.
22nd. We've still got the procedure, policy to unseal the minutes and for contacting legal.
Yep.
We have the discussion with Jason over 42 cents or 50 cents.
Yep,
And then we added the building inspector job.
finalize.
So that's what I
Second
have for the
draft,
22nd.
Okay, so I guess we're full house then.
So I'm just
Sounds like we're in
asking,
pretty good agreements
but
about
I'm
doing
asking you,
inspector
if you,
job, that should be
so
clear.
if you invite them in, you're not gonna get much other done.
No.
If you want to, is what I'm asking you, is on the 15th. Right now, I have 2 public hearings, which is for the transfer station fees at 7, Chase Park at 7:30. The Snowmobile Club, I will forward you the information, wants to have a trail discussion.
Okay,
And then the solar committee wanted to come back for discussion. So there's 4 things on top of your other stuff.
for the
Your
regular,
regular meeting.
Yeah,
the
I
regular
Do you
meeting,
prefer-
I think that's full.
That's plenty.
I already had a couple of things I wanted to talk about with the Invest in H grant.
Okay.
So it was worth
Okay.
bringing somebody in. I don't wanna do it right now.
No,
But-
and that's why I'm asking
Let's move
you.
that to that next,
Do you want to have the discussion
Is-
before bringing him in,
Yes.
is what
Or-
guess
I
I'm-
think so.
I do, I wanna learn a lot more about it, cause I sit on the
Yeah,
planning,
'cause
so
like
I.
I read it and I've got some questions.
Yeah,
And
I mean, and that's why I'm asking,
that
because they
email?
asked me and I didn't call back today.
Was that emailed to us?
Yes,
Gave-
and in the
You
mailbox.
got it in your mailbox.
It might be in that one, yeah,
Oh, it's probably in here.
All right.
yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think you have.
Yeah, I can see it from here, it's. you-
Yeah, I don't mind discussing it for sure. That's why I like to ask you what you wanna do.
Yeah,
But either night sounds full, but I think if we wanna have a discussion
yeah,
prior
maybe the
to
15th.
any
yeah.
representative coming.
I think so.
Right.
Right,
But I would like people to know that we're going to discuss it. Are you going to let people in on the 22nd?
They
That's
can
what I'm
listen,
asking
but
you.
I don't think we need to have fun.
So it's your work session, but are you gonna let others
well, if
come
you
in
say.
if Southern New Hampshire Planning's
Well,
coming?
here's my thought, is we're probably gonna be looking at, I mean, if we schedule a half hour in between the,
Non-publics.
no, the public hearings.
Oh.
Public hearings at 7 and 7:30, we'll probably have 15 minutes to talk. Maybe we slide that in the 15th for a little discussion in between,
With just us?
Just us.
just us at that point in time, yeah. And we can,
On the 22nd,
huh?
right?
On
No,
the
on the
15th,
15th, the next meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I don't foresee the
board
public,
discussion.
yeah, I don't see the public hearing for the transfer station fees going a full half hour.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I think we'll have at least 10 minutes to
And you've
talk.
always done your other stuff in between.
Right, but if we don't have, we can't fill it all in.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out
Yep.
what to do, because it's June then, all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly,
May
yeah.
29th is a holiday.
We're gonna let them
But the
come see us on the
planning
next.
board had punted to mid-June.
June 22nd.
Yeah, so they were fine with us getting into June anyway.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I just,
I don't think it's worth us rushing into it.
I mean, we could always have an anti-Salem meeting.
Aren't they all?
One of
I don't feel like that at
one of
all.
them Thursday night jobs.
joke was-
okay,
sitting
so
there.
let me ask you, so the 15th, we'll discuss it, and
Yeah.
then the 22nd, we won't discuss it? We will
I-
ask
yeah.
them for June.
A June date, yeah.
There's a reason why I have this paper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is over. This is next week. That's 2 weeks from tonight. 3 weeks is a holiday. Okay.
Are we gonna on the 22nd, are we gonna finalize the minute taker spot? Is that on there?
I thought you told me to advertise.
Yeah,
You were a go.
All right, are we a go on that?
yeah,
Okay,
I-
that's fine.
I wrote a go.
Yeah.
Am I
Okay,
not
no,
right?
I
no,
thought we
you're
were
a go, that's
going,
fine, I'm
yeah.
good. Yep,
Okay.
all right. Just wanna clarify.
And I'll get it advertised so we can get it out there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, sooner the better.
I think that's all I have.
All right,
Can I rattle off very quick things?
maybe.
I don't think there's a ton of discussion, it's just, so, well, hold on, I'm gonna hand these out, I don't wanna
Oh,
talk about
boy.
them. Like, right before dinner today, I said I'd email them out, and I still will. But I did type up a whole thing about the minutes, so we can talk about it next time. I'll find that in a minute.
This is, I was gonna email you, I haven't had a chance to, it's just for your own records.
So in getting all that together, I did see, and I meant to write it down, but there's a Supreme Court decision that we can ignore out-of-state 91As. And we have one, so I just wanted to say that there's one from Vermont that we can just ignore.
I'm sorry.
So I've spent a ton of time reading 91A, and in doing all that, and discussions about it and whatnot, there's a Supreme Court decision, New Hampshire Supreme Court decision, and I should have written it down, but I didn't. But it said that we can ignore out-of-state 91A requests. And we have one from Vermont, so I just wanted to say that right now, before we spend any time on it. It says, like, note it, I'm noting it.
Can you forward that
Yeah, I'll try and dig it back up.
case once you find it,
Yeah.
back to the board and Naomi?
Yep.
and then just, and again, I'm not doubting you, but just.
No,
in
yeah,
case-
it's a great question.
Just have her run it by our council and say, is this, this seem,
We talked about the non-publics, 72 hours last time, and that didn't happen. There's not one this time, so it's not a big deal.
I'm sorry. Are you
We
waiting on me?
we talked about the non-public minutes, having a 72-hour clock on them, and we had some from last week. So I just want to bring that back up. And then I had somebody ask me, we had talked at some point about a DPW exit interview, and I don't know what happened there.
Oh, was it Marty?
So I got an email. I got an
Okay.
email asking when he was gonna have one. Personnel policy says that if you've given us a formal written resignation indicating 2 weeks' notice, we would schedule the exit interview within that timeframe. Therefore, there was not an exit, there was not a resignation, there was I quit.
So my reading of that was, if they resign, we will guarantee them that opportunity. That doesn't mean we won't do it for anybody else. And I thought that we had talked about doing
So someone that quits,
that.
you wanna hear,
Yeah, I think we should
If it's been
hear
there long,
everyone,
then-
really. What difference does it make?
I just think you waste your time because they quit so easily, but that's my question.
Well, isn't that the whole point, is to find out the reason?
Right.
And then we need to know, we need to be able to take it with a grain of salt, but
Yeah,
We need to be able to correct it if there's an issue. And if we don't hear anything, we never know.
well then
Well,
you
say-
should have the interim director here too.
say that with a grain of salt.
No, I
because
don't
it-
think you should have your director here when they're doing an exit interview.
Why not?
Never had before.
Really?
Yeah, really. We didn't the last one.
No.
Didn't the
we
last
have-
one.
We have before, but to your point about changing, if it's a disgruntled exit, use extreme discretion.
But there may
Well,
be
of
that
course.
there's an
That's up to
issue.
us. That's
To
up
decide.
us to
That's
decide.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
There's no decisions being based on it. I just don't know why you
this one
wouldn't.
here.
You should hear from everybody, I think.
page 12 in the employee handbook, termination,
No,
sections.
they talked about resignations.
Oh, resignation, excuse me. Resignation should be submitted in writing to the department head and/or supervisor stating the final date of employment. The department head will immediately notify the board of selectmen of resignation. To facilitate a smooth termination, employees are encouraged to provide at least 10 working days notice prior to effective date of resignation. The employee may not use sick leave following submission of the resignation unless a certification form from a healthcare provider advising the validity of the absence. The town reserves the right to accept the resignation immediately. Prior to the effective date of resignation, the employee shall be afforded the opportunity to meet with the Board of Selectmen for an exit interview. Department heads are required to submit the resignation to the Board of Selectmen at least 30 days prior to their leaving.
Yeah,
Did
so
any of that
they
happen?
shall be afforded the opportunity.
So how did Marty, and excuse me because I'm still on, I don't know, it's 2:00 in the morning where I am right now.
Yeah, I guess it's still a good time difference.
Still not good. So, but did Marty request an exit review?
He has now through an email.
He has
Oh, he
now.
has?
All of us, to the board.
No, he sent me,
Well,
through the website.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I was gonna ask about that too, if we could switch that to the new boards. So there's a form on our website that says, reach out to the board. but
Yeah, we
it
used to
doesn't
get
go the
those.
board.
We used to
It
get
came
those
to
in a
office.
funky,
I thought it came to office at, but, okay.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
it used to come in a funky
Yeah.
format, I remember getting that,
Okay.
yeah.
So, but he's asked you for one, Naomi.
Yeah, and I replied back that, through that paragraph is how I replied back. But if you wanna overrule me, I mean, I can invite him in, I just,
Yeah, well,
I think we should.
okay.
yeah, we can.
How long ago did he quit?
It's been a while,
Yeah, months, right?
Well,
it's been a while.
it was, the impression I got is he's been trying to get an exit interview for a while.
Right, well.
I don't know what harm it has. You listen just like do everybody else.
I don't think it has any harm, but again, I think, again, if, the exit format really needs to dictate the mindset of the board, right?
Yeah, I mean, you
Going
gotta
in-
listen.
Going into the meeting.
Well, I mean, that's happened before.
Oh, I'm not saying it hasn't happened
Yeah.
before.
I disgruntled one leave.
Well, Oh, yeah, exactly,
You
but,
guys requested to have one, so I think somebody requests to have one, they have one.
yeah, that's
And then
fine,
if there's issues that saw, then obviously talk to
yeah.
the department head about it. You don't just like act on it and say, I heard.
No.
Off hearsay, you don't do
You
that.
can't, you
know?
can't do that.
Obviously
right,
not.
So, okay,
So when do you wanna see him then?
man, it sounds like we got both the next meetings pretty well slated.
I think the next actual meeting's pretty well full. I suppose the next work session could be half hour earlier, 15 minutes earlier.
15?
15, but still start at 6:30.
Still start at 6:30?
Yeah, that's basically the bare minimum time I can get here.
Yeah, same here.
So.
Start at 6:30 and give him 15 minutes.
Date.
The next
The,
work
the
session.
next work session, 22nd,
Yeah.
And you wanna start at 6:30?
6:30 for 15 minutes.
You guys all got a email today about a person. Oh, you got it?
This is a
It just went
different one. I was gonna ask, we talking about that tonight or the next meeting?
Yeah.
Next,
sorry,
I think we should
you're
talk
right.
about that next meeting. This is a work session we've tried to,
Right.
And what email is that?
just,
This one, Naomi, you just passed it around.
That didn't come tonight.
oh,
That came a long time
Yeah,
ago.
that's
that came
months
back
ago.
that came in
Or
April.
That came in your email a
April
long time
15th.
ago.
I just got it.
No, I was wrong. It's
Like,
not
they,
this
they
one.
came before I left.
This is
Yeah,
the,
that was April 15th.
Oh, this is another one, not this one. I'm talking about the one that came today. I got it today in my email. And it was about a kid falling in up there by at the transfer station.
That's the only reason I was asking, it sounds like there's two things we need addressed. Maybe we wait for director or, I don't know.
When did we just say we're talking to him?
He's coming in next week, isn't he?
Next week or 2 weeks?
Should be coming in next week.
Next week, right? Then,
Who's,
Jason.
Jason,
No.
is this something that we think we ought to talk to Jason about? There's two issues that we had emails about.
yeah,
Be
Yeah.
fair to have him here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I'm in favor, just,
Yep.
yeah.
This one is kinda old, never got addressed, and we got a brand new one today.
This was
Right.
like the
Yeah.
day the emails cut over, so.
Right,
kinda-
I think that
That's
probably
what
got,
happened.
that's where it happened.
Yeah, I didn't see
so-
this till just now.
What do we think, 15 minutes on the 15th? Or a half hour? What do you think?
For what's that?
To address these two
Well, I
emails?
guess it is addressing if they take 5 minutes or take,
So
I mean,
you wanna call it 15 minutes
15 for both, yeah.
for both?
Yeah.
Because they'll both be under the same header for non-public, so
and I don't even know if he got these, so he had a chance to address them.
he may not have, I'm not sure.
Could you mention them to him, Naomi, just make sure you got them?
so what,
The two emails about transportation, one about the guy picking the metal and the one about the,
and who would have gotten them?
Jason, has Jason
I
received
just
that?
asking if we could get it to him.
All right, I think it'd be fair for Jason to see him before.
Cause I haven't even seen the one you're talking about, so,
What, today?
Today's?
yeah.
There's a gap in between the
The
wall
trailer.
and the paper trailer, I guess, where we're now throwing trash and someone fell in there and got.
It has, from my recollection, it's been remedied,
And I'm sure it has.
yeah,
Yeah, cause I don't have that one.
so,
But
okay.
I think it's only fair,
Probably
to-
my proof point.
I think it's only fair to give him heads up before he gets ambushed, that's all.
Yep.
Didn't like
okay,
it.
before you adjourn, Rick,
So Jason, non-public at 6:30 to address both of the emails?
Does this need to be non-public?
No, not public tonight.
No, does this
Oh.
need to be non-public?
Yes, I think it should be.
just before we adjourn, are we going to decide when we're gonna set a date to post the DPW director position? I know we say soon. Is there any reason why we don't post it?
Well, what would the window be on it? I don't think we talked about a window. As far as,
4 months?
well, a week or two, 3
I would
weeks.
think at least 4 weeks.
Okay,
I'd say 4 weeks. Yeah.
that's fine. I'm just thinking that, we just slated ourselves pretty heavy for the next couple of weeks. That-
Oh, yeah, I think
that-
at least a month, and by the time she gets it out, it'd be a month from next week, time it hits the paper,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
And probably the same places we were just talking about the minute taker, right? Same locations?
Yeah, what NHMA or whatever it is.
NHMA,
We never talked about a posting.
The minute
the,
taker.
the minute taker we
No,
did,
the,
not the DPW.
Oh, that's what we're talking
That's what we're
about,
talking about right now.
Okay. I thought you were saying, like, go ahead and post it, but like,
No, no,
we
no.
never wrote a posting.
Oh, right, we didn't.
That's right, we have not wrote a posting,
No.
so we'd have to write a
I
posting
don't
first.
remember bringing up
Okay, so we'd have to write a posting
a little
then.
out of it, but that's what I mean. We gotta set a date for that.
Yeah,
It's gotta be on either next working session or the following working session?
Yeah, because next thing you know, it's gonna be
It should be
July.
it should be fairly straightforward.
I think it'll be pretty
We're
easy
getting-
now that we have
we're
the
good at
description. Now we have a description, it'll be pretty easy to write
Yeah, we
down.
can do kinda the same thing.
Yeah,
Put a
so,
posting in and get the job description from,
so next
It's
work
very-
session, you think?
I mean, it's really just change some language that's
From the description to the
from the
ad.
description that we're doing for the code enforcement officer.
Yeah.
Just plug in some
And same with the minute
keywords.
taker, yeah. All right, I think we can probably do that. At the next work session, I think, that won't take long at all.
Okay, just so I understand, because we've talked about a lot of, 6:30, non-public for 2 issues.
Yeah,
This is the 15th or 22nd?
I'm doing the 15th, I'm doing it in order.
Okay.
So you want 15 minutes for both issues?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so then at 6:45, you're gonna go public.
Yep.
And I have, not in any particular order, solar discussion, public hearing transfer station, public hearing Chase Park, Where Winter Wanderers trail discussion, and a board discussion on the Invest NH grant.
Yep.
And then along with your other stuff.
Yep.
22nd, I have a exit interview for 15 minutes at 6:30 on the 22nd. Write a job description, advertisement.
Mm-hmm. DPW director.
DPW. Policy procedure to unseal, non-public minutes, public procedure to contact legal counsel. Then we're gonna have Jason in as well to discuss the 50 cents versus 42 cents, 12 versus 14 employees. And then we're also gonna look at the building inspector job description / ad. That's for the 22nd.
Going back, I thought we punted on Invest in H till June. Going back to
Okay.
previous, I think it was the last time you
That's
looked at
why,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, we did punt that down the road.
And if we're doing that,
but I thought, but wait, you.
sorry,
no.
you're
No,
right.
we're
Yeah,
gonna address
discussing.
we're gonna discuss the board's
Right, I can
thoughts on
drive
it.
myself crazy, so
Yeah,
I don't need 5 others to help.
No.
yeah. No, I think we're gonna have a board discussion
That's what I thought.
that we thought was gonna be 10 to 15
All
minutes
right.
probably.
Perfect. And then it's June.
And it's June. Ta-da!
So when do you think we might stop by having work sessions every other week? Do you think this is gonna go
Oh, this is gonna go on for a long time.
July?
Oh, this, probably longer.
Oh, okay,
I
'cause
don't,
vacation.
I honestly don't see an end in sight.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't see an end in
Yeah.
sight.
Yeah.
I think, I think the board can agree that these definitely have merit. And we're clicking things off,
yeah,
but again, I mean, we may decide that before budget season, yeah, we table them because budget season is gonna take precedent, but I think that we still have miles to go, myself. I mean, if it falls on a holiday, we're not gonna have it on a holiday, obviously, but,
yeah. No, and if we're
Everything
doing
takes 3
vacation.
times as long.
so,
Not
There.
to discuss right now, but I threw this together literally
oh,
like
are these
5:30.
supposed to be stapled,
I
type
don't
thing?
have, I don't have a stapler.
Are they,
It'd be great if they were, but yeah, this
Okay.
is to bind them together.
okay, the
And
corner binder
we'll
on
talk
it.
about it in a couple of weeks.
What happens if we lose page 2?
I'll email it to you.
I forwarded you that email that we got today.
My
You-
phone buzzed.
You were not on it, so,
I think that's everybody.
I think it's everybody.
Right, not for discussion. 9 o'clock.
Right.
All right, yeah.
This is a read over the weekend,
There you go.
so, all right, very good. Anything else pressing?
No.
Okay, move to adjourn.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye, aye. Sharp stick in my eye.
aye.
Said sharp stick